Hello, how is everyone tonight? Hope everybody's doing okay. I'm a bit tired actually tonight. it's the first time that I've actually felt it, I think because it's, I've got it in my mind that this is the last stream. I'm just like, I wish I could just go to bed now instead of having to do a show. But yeah, it's just one of those, isn't it? It's just one of those. My mind has already put myself in hibernation, and yeah, my body's going with it. So, I don't know. That's just how I'm feeling tonight, guys. So anyway, let's do a few shout outs to some of the people we have in. We've got Anthony Burrows. He says, "Hi mate, no goodbyes. Just get yourself sorted and see you soon." Yeah, exactly. That's what I need to do. Bill G, nice to see you in. Flat for life. Happy that I'm getting my update. Yeah, me too. I had the a telephone call today, basically running through everything, checking my health out on a telephone call, of all things. So I've got to go in on Monday and have some bloods done and I don't know, other things I should think. And then I've got to have a coronavirus test on Thursday or Friday or something, 3 days before the operation. So yeah, there's lots of hoops to jump through at the minute, but I'd rather do all that and get myself sorted and back working in the new year than not. So all good. Right, okay, so we're also joined by Rachy, 0000. I see you in. Brian Shuker. What is Earth? Good question. Hi Ranty, get your health back and see you soon. Take care. Thank you very much. Brian, who's the guy who did the excellent observation that kicked off all the back and forth between Simon, Dan, myself, and Arctic Reflection. So Brian Shuker's the cause of all that. But hey, they got their arses spanked, didn't they? Didn't they just? Right, Steve Hamilton, nice to see you in. YouTube, how's it going, my friend? Brandon Toy says he's on the road, so he won't be back until later. Maybe. Okay. Helen Degenerates, nice to see you in. We've got SE Montreal in, who says, what does SE Montreal say? He says something. What did he say now? Where's he gone? SE Montreal. Me and Rakia are on Jose's dissing George, and we'll be on soon. Okay, get your asses over here. The panel's empty, so we need some people to fill in the panel. We've got Enigma, nice to see you in. Josh Globe Smash says, farewell Ranty until I see you again. I'm wishing you all the best and hope this break will be good for you. Yeah, me too. I need a complete, detox. I need a complete detox. Imagine doing something for 5 years, every single day, hours and hours and hours every single day, eating it, sleeping it, drinking it, without a break, bearing in mind, without a break for like 5 years. I mean, my head is ready for the break. I tell you that, my head is ready for the break. Okay, we've had a super chat from Brandon Toy, who says, let's start this party right. Thank you very much for the huge super chat, $24.99. Thank you very much, mate. That's awesome, that. Thank you. Matrix Media, nice to see you in. Dubleg FPV. Right. Globies lives matter. Remember that. Yes, I do remember that, mate. Nice to see you in. Helen Degenerates, thank you for the £5. Just giving me money. Thank you. Much appreciated, mate. Much appreciated. Will definitely come in handy. Definitely help me in the recovery stage after the operation and stuff. So thank you very much for that. Right, okay, so let's have a quick look at a couple of things today. I did notice that there was, who was it who put the observation out? I'm going to have to check this out now. Just bear with me, guys, till I get the name of the channel that did this. History. So yeah, so I looked at Wolfie's stuff earlier for all those people that were saying that you need to look at Wolfie's videos. I did look at Wolfie's videos. Hang on, who was I? Didn't look at that. Come on, where is it? Oh, here we go. The Blackpool Snaefell incident. So here we go. So let me bring this over here. So this is Tommy Gronvold with his congratulations on just passing 1,000 subscribers. So well done to you there. Hopefully be able to monetize your channel now. 50 likes to 1 dislike, so quite a popular video. And as I say, 150 views, 50 likes. Yeah, that's kind of the ratios you want with 140 views to 50 likes. Nicely done, my friend. Anyway, so he's put a video out today about this apparent Snaefell incident, and he runs through it and he gives some details, etc. And basically, he models out on. I'm not sure what program he uses to model it out, but he models out what it should be like on a globe and what it should be like on a flat plane. So I've done a little bit of analysis. I haven't done a huge amount of analysis on it, but I have done some. So let me get this image up here. Okay, right, so this one's called 282 meters and the globe JPEG, right? So basically this was his calculations for what it should look like on a globe. Now, in his video, he puts in just in a random place. He doesn't map out the wind turbine. He even says in his video, I'm just going to slap a wind turbine here just for the hell of it. So what I've done is I've removed the wind turbine from his observation because it was just in the wrong place and just didn't need to be there. So what we have here is we have the land in the distance. So this would be Snaefell, this grey, well, this brownish land here, and obviously this would be the horizon leading up to it. So this is what it should look like on a globe, and Snaefell should be in relative position to Blackpool Tower, which he has placed here. So the red part is Blackpool Tower in his calculations. This is the image that was actually produced from 282 meters, and you'll notice that I've actually put some additional height on his Blackpool Tower, and there's a very good reason for that, because the height of Blackpool Tower is 158 meters, and what he's done is he's put 158 meters in as the height of the tower. But what he's not done is he's not put the elevation profile in, so he's not encountered the fact that it's sitting on 11 meters of elevation above the water. So that little black part that I've included there has given the extra elevation that should be. That's the 11 meter elevation, and then when we scale it properly, now we have an accurate height of the tower to his tower. You know, as I say, this is his tower. That's the real tower, and there's the hill. So there's Snaefell in the distance, which is substantially higher than where it should be on a globe. So of course he's not included refraction in this. So his claim is that refraction is able to bring up this mountain to a height relative to what you see in this image here in Blackpool Tower, with the Snaefell in the background. Make of that what you will, you know, decide that whether or not that's the case, whether you think that that can do that. Me personally, I don't think that's the case. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see if we can see that mathematics that shows that, and show an actual demonstration of looming like this. Some demonstration of looming, that would be pretty cool. But anyway, from his own work, this is what he produced. There was also another image. Oh, we've had a couple of guests in. I better take myself off of mute. That's rather rude of me. Hang on, that's rather rude of me. Let's put you guys on volume. SE Montreal and Jimbo, how's it going? That's fine. Right, okay, so let's...
Hello. Someone got an echo.
Echo? No, I didn't hear an echo. Now, the Stephen Cheatley one, funnily enough, is a little more... It's a little more, you know, it's a little more to what you would expect to see on a globe. Now, I am assuming that he's actually done this properly. So, of course, I can't validate his software. I can't validate the data that he inputted or anything like that. So I am taking it on face value. But again, his claim of the tower needed to be increased because he needed to put his 11 meters of elevation on, which I have done. And then when we actually scale Blackpool Tower, which is from down here because you've got the Tower Ballroom, and when you scale that up to the correct height, it's a little closer to what you'd expect to see on the globe, but you know, still a fair way off. Still a fair way off. So there's plenty of work still to be done for the globe model. I would like to see how they're going to address this, but thank you, Tommy, for putting this video out because it just highlights, to me at least, the discrepancy that we get with these observations, especially on a globe. So thank you for doing that and being honest about it and putting this information out for everyone to see. Very well done. As I say, this was an even better one. You know, very very good, very damning to the globe, so to speak. So anyway, I thought I would address that because that's just the one video that I saw today. It was put into the Discord for us to look at. So I duly looked at it. I only started work on this about an hour and a half ago. But I was able to pull this up, so happy days. Maybe they'll get around to explaining this. That would be interesting. Jimbo, how's it going then?
It is going nice. Those were lovely. That was a lovely photo.
It was.
And you know, the reality is every photo of a long distance shot, shore to shore and stuff, is a damnation of the so-called Earth curve. You know, have I mentioned playas to you yet?
Yes, you have. I will bring that up in a moment, unless you've got something
Right
to
on.
present.
No. I'm happy with other people sharing, you know, discoveries and stuff. Playas are fun. They're big, and anyway, you'll
Okay.
get to it. I'm sure. I'm cool with that.
Rakia Life, how's it going? Players. Okay. Player, noun, an area of flat, dried up land, especially a desert basin, from which water evaporates quickly. Okay, so let's bring that over. Let's have a look. Let's share my screen and go through this a little bit. Maybe you can direct me here, Jimbo, because you obviously have done more work on this than I have, so...
I like the definition Encyclopedia Britannica online had. They're really very good about describing the slope at being a 0.2 meters per kilometer with no square value.
Continue to site. Okay, accept cookies. Right. Okay, so player. Do you know where the exact citation is? I don't want to read. Oh, here we go. Players are among the flattest known landforms. Their slopes are generally less than 0.2 meters per kilometer. Okay.
Note there's no square involved.
Unless they're already pre-assuming a globe underneath it with a slope on.
They're not presuming anything. They're just stating straight out as it is.
Okay. It'd be interesting.
You guys heard the...
Go ahead.
Sorry, Ranty.
Yeah, go ahead.
It was just what Jimbo said. It reminded me of that. What was the Ukrainian astronaut who said plata? They asked him, and he goes, "I wasn't expecting that question." And he goes, "Plata, it's flat."
In Venezuela, there's a place called Puerto Plata. It's the flat port.
Yes. So is there in the Dominican Republic. I've been there.
The bottom of the ocean is the abysmal plain.
Puerto Plata.
Yeah, it's a great place. You can buy, like, you know, their sandals made from rubber tires, from old recycled tires, but you can buy them there for about $2 each and legally fill suitcases with them. And here they're worth about $40 to $50 a pair. So that more than handsomely pays your vacation, your stay, everything. And you make money when you come home without smuggling any coke. You bring these sandals in, perfectly legal.
Good one.
Here we go. So, abyssal plains, remarkably flat, having a slope of less than 1 in 1,000. Yeah, that's pretty cool. 1 in 1,000, so a 1 meter drop over 1,000, well, over a kilometer. So, yeah, it's remarkable how flat these places are.
And then you have like the Utah salt flats and that Solace Lake, over 1,000 square miles, flat as a mirror, up in the mountains, whatever. You have like, what do they say about Oklahoma, where the wind whistles across the plain over the turnip? You know, Oklahoma is a plain too.
Yep.
Everywhere.
And there's
There's
the other
so
one, the
many.
pancake one, Jimbo. They say it's flatter than a pancake. Which state is that?
Kansas.
Kansas. Yes, sir.
And I lived, in South Carolina until when you go to the foothills and drive to the coast, your slope, your grade is 1 inch per mile. The ecology changes every inch of elevation going from the foothills in South Carolina to the coast. It's so little slope. The rivers flow so slowly. They're all meandering rivers. They're sleepy, dreamy rivers. It's hard to find a rapid. It's all flat. We're on drainage basins, big deltas of plains. Ottawa is 32,000 square miles, part of the Atlantic drainage basin. Although I'm more than I'm 700 miles from the Atlantic coast, but I'm still geologically considered part of Atlantic Canada here in Ottawa. A few miles west, it's no longer Atlantic Canada. But here I'm 700 miles from the coast and I'm still in the Atlantic provinces, basically.
Wow.
And it's
If
flat.
we were to believe the 2-mile high ice sheet on top of North America, those Great Lakes were formed by the melting ice, believe it or not. We still on?
Yeah, we're still on. Yeah, we're still on. Yeah, we're just. Sorry, I was just commenting in the chat there. Smash the like, guys. Smash the like. So I'm gonna.
Yes, I already have mine in. Let me just check just to be sure.
There we go. I'm going to pin that comment so that everyone can see. Smash the like. Hopefully, we'll get a few thumbs up this evening. Combat the globe trolls because they always thumb down these videos. So, yeah.
I'm sure they count equally for the statistics for YouTube. So even if they think they're hurting you by putting a thumbs down, statistically it doesn't matter. It's still a response from a viewer that's analyzed as a hit. And that's in your favor for your web page minutes and your calculations of value on your site, as far as visits and people coming and going and marketing for YouTube. It's a good thing. So let them have their fun. It only really helps.
Yeah, it does. So, well, anyway, I still like to have more likes than dislikes. I mean, I'm not a dislike person.
Yeah, I agree with you, and that's good. I'll go put one now too. Just give me a sec.
Yeah. I like the likes to be better than the dislikes. I think everyone would do. Ali B, how's it going? Hey,
Ali.
Shout out to Julie Bennett, one of my Patreons. How's it going, Julie? Nice to see you in. You're always here as well, supporting the show, so thank you.
Bring on a troll so Ali can go crazy on him.
Hey, Rakia, was George still crying over at Jose's when you left?
What was he crying about?
Well, he was. You gotta listen to the show. He came on and he was shooting his mouth off. So I decided to go on and set him straight, and he didn't like that very much. And then Rakia popped in.
He was
1 2 1 2.
Yeah, we hear you, Ali.
All right, sorry, it's because the volume's so Oh, I can hardly hear you. I've got my volume full up. I'm on my phone, but for some reason, you lot are very low. So I don't know what's wrong there. Maybe it's me.
Maybe take your headphones out and put them back in again.
I haven't got headphones, unfortunately. I left them in the truck.
Right, okay.
Which was stupid. I'll just have to hold it like a telephone and get my brain fried by the microwaves.
Yeah, that's not a very good plan, that, Ali.
Yeah.
That actually really happens because microwaves do burn and heat up cells. So there's
Yeah.
radio
But then
frequency burn, RF burn.
Yeah, but that would be assuming I had a brain in the first place. So
Yeah, so
Well, my brain cell is still working pretty good. All 4
Yeah,
billion
yeah,
are
you're
gone,
still-
but there's one left. My brain cell is fine.
yeah, it's bright as a button.
isn't it interesting? Mobile phones and stuff. I've never really had them, throughout my life. I have had them occasionally, but for the most part, I'd say for 25 years or something, I've probably only owned a phone for about 4 years in total. And I very rarely, make phone calls on it. It's more for texting or something like that. So I tend not to pick up the phone and stuff like that. So I haven't really been zapped by them. And some people sleep with them next to the head.
Well, here's the problem with these phones. There's a reporter, she's dedicated and a long-time reporter, Wendy Mesley. She did a report on the hidden dangers of cell phones. No joke. They sort of falsify how they test them by putting a lot of material between, say, a piece of chicken and having that transmitter on, instead of having it like people do right against their breast or something. But the point is that there's a special hospital in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, that treats people with these microwave burns and cancers in their ears, multiple cancers around the breast where that little transmitter from the telephone, the antenna, burns and cooks the skin and the meat underneath it while it's in contact with the skin. These are terrible devices, and they are injuring and killing people. This hospital keeps and helps to keep secret the fact that people are getting cancers, children included, in the ears from these devices. Not to mention carpal tunnel syndrome from texting 5,000 texts in 2 or 3 days and stuff. I mean, but just the radio frequency is and misstoring them on your persons and stuff is giving people, like women, multiple breast cancers.
Well, the one thing I would advise people to do is not sleep with the phone charged, or charging next to you, whilst you sleep. I mean, that should just be a given, nobody should have that phone within 5 feet of them, when they go to bed. Put it on the cabinet, somewhere away, put it on the other side of the room or something, but don't have it next to your bed. I mean, that's just makes no sense.
Well, a lot of them, if you leave them charging overnight, plugged into the wall, they can catch your house on fire. You're not supposed to do that, and a lot of people do.
Well,
You're supposed to charge them and unplug them, and they can toast. They can burn your house down with you in it.
So I was talking to Brandon Toy earlier. So he's looking to basically carry on where I leave off. So on Monday he's hoping to do a stream. So that'd be pretty cool if he can actually get his OBS all set up, and we can get everything working from this end. So it will be hosted on this channel. So it will still be on this channel, but it will be Brandon Toy that's taking the reins. So that could be as early as Monday. Now that would be pretty cool.
It could be a very interesting change of styles too, and an approach to dealing with, some of the trolls and how they try to monopolize stuff. He might not be as tolerant, and I'm sure he wants, like you, to give him some rope and let them hang themselves, but he might not do it the same way, So it'll be good to see a change and to see you not disappear totally.
You gave George a lot of rope last night, Ranty, again.
Well, I've got to give him the rope, Hang on, wait a sec, Pete. So let me just finish off on this train of thought. So yeah, I'm not going. I mean, I'll still be doing videos, right? So I'll still, maybe every 2 or 3 weeks put a video out. So I'll put something together, make a video, release it. I'll still be running my Facebook groups. I'm going to put a little more effort into doing that. Try and build the Facebook group up a little more, so it's got a few thousand people that have joined there. That would be pretty cool. So there's other things that I'm going to be doing that means that I can spend less time on flat Earth, essentially, but I can build those other things whilst Brandon Toy takes care of this side of things. So
You should come on as a guest
Well,
then, man.
Your,
I mean,
your,
will.
mo- your,
I
mo-
will
your most
occasionally,
important
yeah,
job
sure. Yeah.
will be making sure you convalesce right after your operation, so you don't have any like secondary downstream stuff, and then worry about flat Earth and work and all
Yeah,
kinds
yeah.
of
That's
stuff
the time
later.
to stay away. Jimbo's right.
Number one for your health, and then everything else is secondary.
Yeah, it's worked out kind of good actually, because honestly, when you do this amount of research and streams till 2 o'clock in the morning, and then it's all you ever think about as soon as you wake up, as soon as you go to sleep. It's on your brains 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and it has been for the past 5 years. So I haven't had a break in that time. I've not stepped away from
what
it.
else are you going to think about, though, man?
I don't know.
Away from that.
I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to try it. I'm going to sort of like pretend this was an addiction. and
I advised you, Ranty, years ago to turn your camera on the moon. There's much beyond.
Well, to be honest, like I said, I'm going to pretend that this was like an addiction that I'm trying to deal with.
It was like a dream.
And when I get the urge to click something and watch something, I'm going to say, no, I'm going to do something else instead. I'm going to research something completely different, look up history or something like that, and see whether or not that history matches up to reality. I'm going
Here's the good question. Can I just
anyway?
let me ask this, Jim?
Flat Earth.
Let me ask this, Jim, and the same applies to all of us, right? Because it's really sort of interconnected in all of this. We sort of come by the information we come by via our computers here, our own personal sort of libraries, right? And that was given to us, of course, especially post 2000. Would our lives be fundamentally different if we never had this sort of access? Do you know what I mean? Or would we inevitably have been exposed to any, well, like I think is what's going on now, no matter who you are, you're sort of being exposed to certain things that are happening. But do you know what I mean? What do you think?
Yeah.
I think if anything, it has not changed me, but knowing has made me better and happier.
Mm-hmm.
I'm miserable, Jim. It's miserable. For fuck's sake.
I'm happy knowing a part of the truth.
Well, 2020's been a miserable year, I think, just in general, without anything else happening. But just in general, 2020 for a lot of people has been very stressful. So,
well, you lost that whole frozen freezer of hell, Ranty. That was desperate.
That was desperate, yeah.
It must have been, actually. You must have overloaded the freezer is all it was.
Quite possibly, who knows. But no, the freezer broke, so, I mean, it didn't work after that, so...
I think it was a sign myself. We none of us should be eating meat, right?
Toady says, is it true that you will only be working till end of December, so will you be back with us in January and February? No, the plans have changed again because essentially it could have been up to a year that I was waiting for the operation. So I decided to get a job and I was due to do the training today and start on Monday. But then I got a phone call yesterday telling me that they've got an operation date for me, which is on the 13th of this month. So I informed my new employers, who said that basically they couldn't employ me now because I was going to have so much time off, so there was no point in me coming in. So I was like, okay, so I've been sacked. So I've been sacked before I started, which is okay, that's fair enough. And
you don't need to go to Brandon, you're not needed, bud.
So no. So I'm still gonna have my break. But no, I won't be working, unfortunately. I'll actually be having my operation on the 13th, and then I'm going to be having my recovery time getting better. And that could take me up till Christmas before I'm actually ready to actually get stuck in again and doing some work. And I want to go back decorating, that's what I want to do, because when I'm decorating, I can manage my decorating business, and I can work the hours to suit me. So if I wanted to get up at 10 o'clock because I've had a late night on here, then yeah, I can do that. I'm not beholden to going into work for 8 o'clock or 8:30. I can go in at 10:30, And
You're gonna convalesce a few months first, so
Yeah.
I'd count those chickens
Well,
first.
yeah.
Well, Jim, isn't that perfect? Ranty, isn't that perfect then for what you're doing right now? And I know you've made some increased super chats over the last few days, but if you think about that over the space of a month, say, and you sort of take as opposed to a leading role, a contributory role, then you can have sort of a balanced income, I guess, in a sense, contributions, and you needn't worry so much about like going back to the physical manual work on that basis. You know what I
Well,
mean?
Toby's ready.
Double Beg FPV says a couple of weeks, he reckons, for the 3 hernias that are gonna, all the cuts and stitches and stuff like that. I'm probably looking at
Try 2 months, 3 months.
Yeah, and if I'm going to be grafting, lifting up heavy ladders and carrying paint tins around, I've got to be repaired, or I'm just going to bust open again. So that's just
Heal thyself, and I'll tell you
Yeah.
something for nothing. If the same happened to me, right, and I can appreciate pain, I really can, and the ribs I fucking had. Anyway, that's a different story. But listen, if the same happened to me this instant, and someone said, "You got what Ranty has. Your stomach is after bursting out, and there's a big tear," I would go immediately. Well, okay, it's what I'm eating, it's what I'm doing. And I would let it heal itself because I know it was my body's way of reacting to something, unless it was a sort of a puncture or something. But outside external puncture to what I was doing.
Well,
Seriously, genuinely.
I will get better. I'll be back at it, back working in the new year. I can get back to doing a proper job and earning some decent money and getting back to where I was. Because I have a plan for next year. I want to go to Australia. That would be.
Wow.
Yeah, I want to
Really?
I want to do a journey around the outside of Australia, all the way around it. It's over 8,000 miles, and
Well, Ranty,
it's going to take. Well, let me finish what I'm saying.
Upside down in a closet.
So, 8,000 miles at least. Going around. Maybe hire a van that I can sleep in. Like a camper van or something. Do the 8,000 miles.
I thought you were going to say hire a Filipino to carry your bags around.
So what I'm going to do then is, I'm going to drive for like 150 miles or something, park up, do a Star Trails for the night. So I'm going to do some time-lapse photography through the night in one location. Then I'll see the sunrise and the sunset in that location. Do some other photography too. And then I'll move. 150 miles down the coast to a different location. And then the following night or the night after that, then I'll do another Star Trails from that location. And I'm going to go all around Australia doing it the whole way, all the way around, 8,000 miles, probably at least, I don't know, 50 different...
Hang on.
Hold on, wait, let me finish.
All right.
So like 50 different Star Trails, maybe more, all the way around, so that we've got a database of all these Star Trails, not just in one location, but throughout everywhere around Australia. I'm also going to measure, how far I've travelled in the camper van. I'll make sure that I know exactly where I've been, where I've gone to, following the coast. So I'll have an exact measurement if I've got the tyre pressure right, obviously, in the car, etc. So we're doing the same journey. I can calculate, adding it up, how far I've actually travelled. So we'll know what the correct calculation is for the size of Australia. So there's a whole bunch of stuff that I can do with that. And also going to these remote places that nobody really lives in or goes near, etc. That will be really cool to get the old P1000 out and maybe a different camera too, and take some beautiful photography around there, some of the sites and stuff.
Is that a possibility, or is it sort of a dream? Do you know what I mean? Have you sort of set your mind to, if I was going to do something, that's what I'd love to see myself doing?
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I want to do that. I'm thinking it's going to be about a year away, maybe 10 months away, 10 months or a year, something like that. I would say 10 months at the earliest, but the latest I want to do it is about a year. And I'm setting around about 4 months for it. I want to do this for about 4 months. So.
Well, I was going to suggest, right? So along similar lines, will you be looking? Will you sort of put it out there as a GoFundMe adventure in the sense that you are collecting data? Because if you were, all in the realms of possibility, I was going to say one of the biggest, Tim Osman, right? Tim Osman is fucking Osama bin Laden, is Barack Obama, is Will Smith, but we're not going to get there. But his big talking point is always the southern celestial stars, right, and how they rotate in a different direction than the northern. So along similar lines, if you were going to do some sort of involved trip, I would say taking your P900 to take southern star rotational observations from let me just say from New Zealand, say, also from Australia, maybe across the breadth of Australia, definitely South Africa, and also South America and Hawaii as well. Make a whole trip of it. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah,
It would
and
be
Antarctic's not
fantastic
far
out there.
away from South Australia. Just get a boat and chuck on over to
Yeah, but
Antarctica.
imagine having this data though, like a proper data set that everyone can use. Everyone will be able to download it. I'll upload it to different drives or what have you, send it out via email to people. So every time I get to a location, I can do that. Probably let's say once a week. I can upload that data, and everyone will have that. And I'm sure those people that are interested in star trails will want to dissect it. They'll want to see what's going on with the star trails here as opposed to 1,000 miles that way and another 1,000 miles this way, and work it all out. So, the results will just be the results. That's it. The result. It's just data at the end of the day.
Well, what's
1,000
nice
miles.
about you doing it, Ranty, is that others who do it add these softwares that accentuate this and that, and it's all gummed up by CGI. You're gonna give raw images of what you get.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not gonna run it through software like what, So it'll be different.
So that's my plan for next year anyway. So that's the dream. That's what I want to do.
That's a very detailed plan, Ranty.
I've been thinking about it for the past few months, to be honest, Pete. I wanted to do something completely different, something that nobody else has done before. And I figured, well, what's the one thing that we need the most information-wise? And I figured that, Australia wouldn't be a bad trip, actually, to do that kind of star trails and get that information, the sunrises, the sunsets, see what they look like down there,
Ranty's going to the land down under.
Practice hanging upside down so you get used to that blood pressure change from standing.
You can punch some kangaroos. You can ask some kangaroos, how does it feel to be upside down from space?
Well, anyway, so that's for next year anyway. So, as I say, that's down the line for now. There's other things that I'm doing right now, obviously recovering, but that's for next year. So, as I say, I'm not going anywhere. I'm just having a break. So.
So what is this Friday then? Is this like an all-out end of term party, or is it just a sort of a Perry drink or something? Just a quiet sending off.
Oh, Double Beg FPV says, "Would you do it?"
I got the hookers waiting downstairs, Ranty.
He says, "Would you do it on a push bike?" I don't think I'd make it on a push bike, mate. To be honest, 8,000 miles on a push bike. Yeah, no. I would want a camper van. To be honest, I want my luxury if I'm doing that journey.
Have you ever been to Australia? Have you ever been there?
I haven't. No, but I would love to go.
Where's the furthest afield you have been?
France.
France?
Yeah.
You don't speak a word of French.
If you make it to Ayers Rock in Australia, the locals say if there's.
Oh
any
no, hang
wild,
on. I'm lying. I've been other places. So
Been to Spain.
I've been to Spain. I've been to the Dominican Republic. What was I thinking? Saying France? I had a brain fart then. I've been to the Dominican. I've been Dominican Republic. I've been to Benidorm, Maspalomas. I have been to France.
You go to Paris, Randy? You must have gone to Paris, right?
No, it was like this horrible day trip when I was a kid, and they took a coach down to France, right? Get this, so it's like 12 hours down to Dover or something. Then we got on this ferry, right? Oh man, I can't handle ferries. I was so seasick going on this ferry, and it was pretty calm, I mean, it wasn't. I wouldn't say it was breezy or anything, but I just couldn't handle it. I got off at the other side, the coach, and my head was still spinning. This is like once we're in France, and we only went to, is it Bologna or something? And
right.
So we were there for like, I don't know, 3 hours at most, and then
I got the ferry.
3 hours, and then we come back, And I got robbed as well. I got robbed. Right.
I got robbed in France.
I did. I got robbed, right? I got robbed. My mum. So what age am I now? So I'm 45 now. So I would have been about, I don't know, 14 or something. So it was what, 30 years ago, right? So my mum gave me £20 worth of French money, right? So
French francs, right?
yeah, so let's say that was the equivalent to about £60 now, right? So got about £60 in money. So the only word I knew was croissant. That's all I knew, right? It was literally the only thing I knew. So went into this bakery kind of thing, and I asked for a croissant, right? So I asked for the croissant. I got my money out, right? And I'm trying to understand what she's saying, you know, how much it is or whatever. And I'm looking at this money, and I wasn't used to it. I didn't know what it was. So I'm holding it in my hand like this, and she leans over the counter and she just grabs money, you know. Like, I didn't know what she was taking. It was the only thing I bought, literally one thing, only thing I bought. When I came back, right, and I gave, you know, what I had left back to my mum, she changed it back for English money, and it was about 50 pence. This bitch,
She rooked you.
yeah, this bitch, she leaned over and she took like almost 20 quid's worth, like 60 quid, almost 60 quid.
She realized you had no clue, you were a tourist, and she did you in.
That's the kind of croissant that you nibble over a month.
Ooh.
Oh dear. Croissant.
That's the type of croissant that leaves a bad taste in your mouth forever, Jim.
I didn't even like it either. It was the only thing.
It was probably stale from yesterday.
I think it was. I had like 2 bites of it, and I was like,
Oh goodness.
oh, I don't know. So yeah. Oh.
I drove all the way. My sister was getting married in northern Italy, so I drove from Ireland, and it was a 24-hour ferry from Ireland to France. But France is such a fantastic country, and we learned French in school here in Ireland, and sort of always had a thought for it. But the one, let me just say, not to take up too much time, but I did go when my son was in his mum's belly. I took her off to Paris just for whatever. I think everything happens for a reason. But I see now the reason, I think, just more coming to flat earth. Paris-Starkis is a great Starkism. But yeah, fantastic country. Of all the countries I drove to, right, so which was Ireland, France, this is on the way over, Switzerland, Italy, back up then I went through Germany, Belgium, and Holland as well. Of all the countries, France was just the most, it was delicious, you know, it really was. The worst one was Switzerland. And of course, we know somewhat about the Switzerland sort of conspiracy, but it was the most regimental. It was like very stoic, I think, is just the whole impression I got. So I didn't stay there very long.
Ghost Flames asking, have I done anything with the drone? Indeed I have. Thanks for asking though. Yeah, so Julie found that amusing, so did Rachie. Me getting robbed in France. But honestly, yeah, that ferry ride, I mean, I've never I've never had I've never been on a big boat like that before. The first time I'd been on a big boat, and I felt so ill. My head felt like it was going to explode. It was horrible. I wouldn't go on a boat again. I wouldn't do that, you know, go on a ferry or a cruise again. That one experience just did it for me. Can't handle boats.
Well, overcome your fears, man. I mean, you might turn out to be the most natural, sailor, I guess, seaman, tar.
Seaman, right.
Were you seasick? Were you feeling woozy, Ranty?
Yeah, I was feeling like I wanted to be sick.
Bro. I'm the same way.
But honestly,
it's an inner
Did you
ear
ask him
thing.
about he feeling woozy, Ranty?
Yeah, it's an inner ear thing, and it can really even lead to
Exactly,
throwing up.
inner ear.
So it's serious, and if you have it, you really can't do a lot of boat. You'll take a cruise and you'll be puking over the side the whole.
Exactly. There's some pills and some stuff you can clip on your ear there.
The ocean and the waves.
shout out to Rob Keane, who gives me $2 and says, for your drone. Thank you very much.
Jim, I brought that up years ago about the eardrums or inner ear workings of the people on the ISS going around at such enormous speeds. They're still susceptible to certain forces, right, according to the theory or the imagining, but it must play havoc on their eardrums and their sense of, or not the eardrums, their inner ear workings and their sense of balance. It has to, at least by thought, at least my thought leads me that way.
The
Of
fact
course, we
is,
know
if it
it's
was
not real.
actually going in a circular motion around a pivoting center, the people in there would be stuck to the inside wall at the top. They'd be splattered like
Right.
bugs. 6
Yeah.
miles a second. It's a joke, all that. How come these guys always look like they're in slow motion when they're in their spacewalks? It's because they're moving through water. If there was really a vacuum and nothing to hold them back, a little push, they'd move like lightning. But no, it's whoosh, like when you're in a pool.
Actually, forever, Jimbo. The theory states forever. You
Forever.
push one astronaut in space, he's gonna travel forever that way.
They're always slow motion. Like, you've been in a swimming pool and move across the side with the edge. They move the exact same way. How come? How
Well-
come outer space is supposed to be a vacuum, not a liquid, but they're moving like they're moving through a liquid?
So, Jimbo, here's my question then, and if George, if you're having any ball or antagonism, is an interesting question, and I've confounded some of them before. But if we plant ourselves in space, Jimbo, and I push an orange, and I also push the Empire State Building with the same force, will they react in the same way?
Not only that, how about the first law, Pete? If you push it, either one of them, aren't they supposed to travel forever until
But then we
acted
have
upon
Newton's
another
laws, right? Force is mass times acceleration. So mass is a pivotal sort of consideration. But when we're in space, because these are the people telling us that their space is real, right? So if you're in space and you push an orange and push, so mass doesn't matter, will they react exactly the same? In other words, they'll go off into the distance at the same rate or not? I mean, it's an interesting sort of thought experiment, isn't it? And it does lead to the ballers with very interesting conundrums, really.
Right, let's just do a quick shout out to Julie Bennett, who's given me £5. Thank you very much. No comment, but much appreciated. Thank you.
That's Gordon Bennett's wife.
I can get in a swimming pool and have the effect and feel of being an astronaut moving through space on the space shuttle outside fixing things, but I can't go to outer space and throw an orange in the Empire State Building.
I know that, but they'll tell you can, Jim. Everything they tell you is fantasy, involves imagination.
Exactly right. That's why they take
everything
their
that's
things into space only. It only works in a vacuum, right?
The only
Right,
way
let's-
to defeat
hold
them
on,
then
hold
is
on.
via their own logic, right?
Right, let's
Well,
hang on, guys.
I could say
Hold
I
on.
started the Chicago fire. It doesn't make it so. But if you want to believe I did, well, I can't stop you from it.
Right, let's do a couple of mic checks. Chemo, can you do a little mic check there? Check your volumes.
Yeah.
Hold on.
That was convincing.
What?
That.
What, Chemo?
I think he has an issue with his audio.
I think that's not the real Chemo.
Yeah.
I think Ranty's playing with him.
Yeah.
That's not the real.
He's joking. Yeah. So you go, Ranty. You alright?
Yeah, there we go.
That's not the real chemo. That's a fake chemo. It's like the Jamie Brown that time.
Yeah,
the
someone's
fake Jamie
faking
Brown.
Chemo's voice really well right now.
Right, let's do
Whenever I turn Skype on, it turns my volume down, so I have to go back into my settings and turn it back up. It's very
I get you. Right, let's do a quick mic check with Pete, the GRB. How's it going?
Yeah, it's going, doing good.
Put your mic up a little bit so we can hear it. Okay.
Yeah.
So you've been on before, haven't you, Pete?
Yeah. Last weekend, I think it was.
Yeah.
Hi, Pete. Another Pete here. How you doing, Pete?
Pete meet Pete.
Doing good. A little tired, but all right.
It's Pete and repeat here all night.
Pete and Peter, we distinguish one another, right? Or Komishay. That'll do.
So you know you're going to have lots of
got a
fans, Ranty, in Australia that are going to want to meet you, get your autograph, take a picture with you and all that kind of stuff.
Autograph.
We do a daily vlog, Ranty. That'd be excellent.
I don't know if they'll want my autograph. They might want to drown me when I go over there.
Please do a selfie
Whoa,
with a
what?
wombat for me.
A wombat? I'll do it with a kangaroo. That would be pretty cool.
Oh, the wombats, their hairy nose, they're friendly, and their shit is cubed. They shit poop cubes.
Well, Chemo, I believe, would be somewhat interested in coming with me for a part of the journey. Is that right, Chemo?
Yeah, I mean, if I could get a month or so out there with you, that would definitely sort of I've been looking into it. Yeah, but obviously we're better to do full duration. That is a very, very long time. But a month out there in down under would be definitely beneficial.
Jesus, you made that decision quick, Spurs.
Oh,
No,
no,
but we spoke about it before. You see,
I spoke about it a few weeks ago.
yeah,
As
I
I
haven't
say,
mentioned it to any of them, so that's probably why.
we've been keeping it secret, haven't we, Chemo?
Yeah, I kept it under wraps and waited for you to make the big announcement. And yeah, so yeah, I mean, I definitely like to do a month or so out there or more. Because they keep saying we've never been down there, we haven't done any relevant things. There's only one way to do it, and that's just go out there in the real world, right?
Exactly. Get down there and do it. You know, I mean, get our hands dirty. You know, that's
Yeah,
the.
but hang on, come on, hang on. Let's get serious. Have you decided on a sort of a fixed sort of purpose, Spurs? If you're going to join Ranty, you're going to meet him at a certain point, but is it all about documenting the variance of sort of declination of the southern celestial rotations? Is that the purpose? Which would be a noble purpose, of course.
And the sunrises, Pete, sunsets.
And sunrises, and
You know.
yeah, and whatever. How long are you staying for, Ranty?
It's going to take about 4 months in total to do it, I think. That would be, yeah, so I would imagine that's the length of time it'll take. But as for Chemo, yeah, both of us going over, why not? You know.
Good. I'm telling you something. If you're serious about this, you have enough followers, both of you. If you're dead serious about this, to extend it, I'm not saying Spurs, right? But Ranty, for you to extend it, so you're going to spend 4 months in Australia. You'll get the feel for it all. Then extend it to a trip to South Africa with the same purposes, and that will settle it for everything. And then same with South America, as far as you can go down. To incorporate that into your life. You could even do a week there in both of those places. Same with Hawaii. And I guarantee you, if you're genuine and if you're going to go ahead with it, you have a firm and fixed plan, because that is one of the pivotal points, the difference in rotation north and south, right? Yeah, if you documented it was clear to see, you'd get 10 grand for that easily. You'd get 10 grand donated easily, I should think. I definitely think so.
The thing with, I mean, I think most Globers would agree as well, that I just put the information out that I feel. It's as simple as that. If I'm going to go down and do one thing, I'm going to go and do it, and I'm going to release the information, and it's just as simple as that. I've got nothing to hide. I have got skin in it, kind of thing, because I do believe the Earth is flat. But at the end of the day, I'm also a researcher. I mean, that's what I am. That's what I do. It's what I enjoy. Let's take the images and let's have a look at them and let's see what they show us. It's as simple as that. You can't beat that. I mean, once that information's out there, people can then just enjoy it to the heart's content. They can go over it, they can put it in models, they can do all kinds of things, and they'll know that they've got the correct data, because I'll give them the times, the dates, the locations. Simple as that. And then I'll show them the images. And then they can decide what they want to, they can argue with that up to the heart's content.
The one problem I have with that, then, you got to do this sort of adventure for yourself, not for others. And any information you present to ballers like George last night, I think you banned him permanently, because he's nothing to offer at this stage. He's going to lie to you, and he'll beat around the bush. But you got to do it for yourself first of all, and apply your own thinking to it. What are your expectations, actually?
Well, no, Pete. Actually, no. I'm purposely not going to look into star trails because I don't want to be biased. I don't want to have that bias. I don't want to be, for people to say, oh, well, you're an expert on star trails, and obviously you're only going to show these things or that things, So if I have as little information about what the star trails do and what they mean when I go down there, and I put them out there, then those people that do have that information and are au fait with that kind of stuff, then they can dissect it. You know, I can't be accused then of trying to fake something if I don't know that much about it or what it should do. Do you know what I mean?
Can I jump in there?
Of course, Rob. Yeah.
So they will always rise in the east and set in the west.
Yeah, I've heard that before actually. Yeah, it's interesting that. Isn't
Yes,
it?
but why
All-
will they
all
spin
ways.
and rotate in an opposite direction, Rob?
No. Direction is relative.
Direction of spin isn't
Direction-
relative.
Direction is relative. There's
No,
only
direction of
one.
spin. Well, hang
There
on,
is
hang on,
only
please.
one
Direction of spin isn't
absolute
relative.
direction. No, hang on. There
Listen,
is no
man.
spin. There is no spin. Listen, man.
Oh, there is
There
a
is
spin.
no spin. Yeah, but there is only one true direction, and that is north.
Right. We know this is
Right.
flat earthers, right? We know this, but
I know.
what's our
I know.
expectations? As Ranty takes his star trails from Sydney, he's going to get
He's
a
not doing
circular
star trails.
rotation
We
of
just
the sun.
we just went over that. We're not doing star trails. We're gonna say that they rise in the east, set in the west.
No, hang
All
on.
of-
Who
all
are
of
you
them.
just came in here and said we're not going over that?
No, I've
Ranty
been in
Ranty
here.
said
I've
he's
been
taking
in
a
here.
non-biased. Hang on,
Yeah,
please. Ranty said he's taking a non-biased point of view.
Yes,
Not
that's
you.
why no star trails. No star trails.
Hang on, please.
Right,
Ranty
no
is going to
start.
have to
No,
close
no.
his ears off.
I'll let Ranty speak for himself.
But hang on. Why do you come in here to say that? We all know that, though.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm going for. I'm going to film the night skies. So that's basically what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the sunrises, the sunsets, and the nighttime photography. You know, and do time lapses in different locations, maybe 50 different locations, all around the outside of Australia, all the way around it.
I still love you, Pete.
Right, and you'll always be applying thinking to what you're doing, right? But let's just think about, as we're on the equator and we're looking at the stars as they elapse right before us, they move in a very similar pattern to the weather systems around the equator. Right, so all of these things are connected, and Rob coming in there saying the obvious is fair enough, but don't be coming along saying that we can't discuss it further, for goodness sake.
I did not. I would never shut down conversation, Pete.
Just did there, bud.
No, I'm just saying he's not doing star trails.
To know that it's from they rise in the east and set in the west,
right?
Like the sun,
right.
like the moon.
We don't
like
need.
everything.
We don't need to do star trails though, to know that they rise in the east and set in the west. Always.
No, all you need to do is look there. So how have you advanced then, Rob? You're a very quiet voice in this arena. How have you advanced to that then?
What advance what?
Well,
We're
no,
picking up more and
all
more
it takes
people
is
every
observing.
day, bro. Every day we
Hang
pick
on.
up more and
Let's
more
not get
people.
argumentative. All I'm saying is, all it
I'm
takes is
not
observing,
arguing.
right? As flat earthers, how have we advanced in our thinking?
That's a great question, Pete. I don't know about why we need to advance our thinking. We just need to keep thinking critically.
That's nonsense, man. There's
That's
an
not
innate sort of
nonsense.
need for you to figure out what's going on, where you are, what's the truth. If you just work on
you
what
want to know
isn't,
what?
there's a million billion realities that aren't, right?
That's
So,
right.
I mean,
We will
come on,
all
what's the point?
exist. Hang on, Pete. We will all exist on this plane with beliefs. That was the end of my sentence.
That's okay. Everyone is coming at this from a different point of view. You
That's
didn't
right.
teach me anything by telling me.
I'm not trying to teach you anything, Pete. I think you teach us a lot. You make us think.
George would disagree with you.
How
Fuck
can you
George.
teach someone that knows everything? So
That's what I'm saying. But he got ours. He got ours last night. He got ours last night, though, to express his lies, and he got ours in the past. That's all they look for. When it comes to what is questions, if you're saying it doesn't count, that's fair enough. For you, maybe. I'm saying for everyone listening, it should fucking count, because this is your reality, right?
That's right, Pete. I agree.
Well,
Hey,
this
listen.
is my reality,
Listen,
and I'm
guys.
sharing it with all of you.
We could-
hang on,
I'm
Rob.
hold
very
Is
on.
there, can you point
Hold-
at anyone
I'm
and say
grateful.
that they're an authority to you on this plane? Would you tell your children that these people, or whoever you'd point to, are an authority and you are necessarily underneath them? I don't think you would, right, Rob?
No, sir.
Anyone at all on this plane, and I agree with you, or anyone in history, and I agree with you as well. We're put here for a different reason. Has to come to recognize where we are, what we are, when we are, why we are, who we are. At least if not, well then we can think that way, and maybe we'll get places.
Hey, Pete, can I ask you a question?
You get stuck with George fucking debating forever when you know he's a
I'll
paid
be back in
agent
a
of
little bit, guys.
deception. Come on, anyway.
Hang on, wait a minute. Let me
Pete,
shout out my
Okay.
let me shout out my new shrimp member. I've got a new shrimp that's joined the channel. So Earth Circus, thank you very much for becoming a channel member. Yeah, I really do
we need more
appreciate
members.
that. Yes, we do. No, more members. See, when I'm letting Brandon take over,
Even shrimp. Even shrimp.
shrimps, sharks would be.
I'm a
good.
shrimp.
I have all
I'm a
kinds
shrimp.
of different memberships, so you can
I
choose
cancelled
that.
Randy.
A member is
Randy,
a slang
Randy.
name for a dick.
Hello,
right?
hello.
Hello, Ali.
Am I coming through?
Yes, you are, Ali. How's it going?
All right, it's just Pete doing his usual talking over. Well, I cancelled my membership because of adverts. So sorry, I'm having a protest. I'm doing a protest.
Just so you know,
What's the adverts?
Hang on. I haven't watched an advert in 2 years because I pay YouTube $11.99 a month, and I don't have to watch any of those fucking commercials ever. It is the best thing I ever did.
Well, why don't you get? But wait a minute. Well, why don't you get? There's a thing called free ad block
YouTube
browser.
are pretty happy with the deal as well.
Right, shut the fuck
Just a
up.
sec, Pete. Just a
Right,
sec.
listen. You can get it free. It's called free ad block browser, and you just go in there and you never get any adverts, and you can what do you call it? You can close the window and you can still hear like YouTube and that. But it doesn't give the chat. It won't show you the live chat. That's the only thing with it. But it doesn't give any.
I'll just pay YouTube. I don't have to watch any. But the channels that I do watch get the credit for me watching them, as if I watched an ad though.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, pay the people that are actually.
It's still good for the channel content creators that I pay for YouTube. But I
get all sorts of adverts.
I hate the ads.
I get loads of adverts, Randy. Every time you come on live, it starts with an advert, and it's some Danish idiot. I don't know if you've got it set on to relevant thing, but there's this, and it's so annoying, man, because it's yeah.
How long does it last for?
There you go.
Is it a 5-second thing you can skip?
No. This is the thing, right? It says the video will play after the ads, so I've got to sit through 2 adverts, two Danish adverts.
How long did they last?
Seriously.
How long did they last?
Probably about let me think. Probably about 30 seconds.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I think they've screwed me over on that. Then maybe that's why people.
Yeah,
just,
they have.
I'm not listening to that for 30 seconds.
That's a bottle of whiskey for Ali. 30 seconds.
Well, actually, I want to go back onto the ferry thing. I'm actually on a ferry. I'm heading back to. Heading to Holland actually. And Pete, I've got a glass of Murphy's. I'm stretched out in my cabin. Got a glass of Murphy's. Well, life couldn't be better.
Nice one. I have a joint here and I have a beer on the go.
I'm missing. Don't say that, right? Don't say that because I leave mine at home. I don't smoke and drive when I'm abroad.
I've seen you roll up plenty of times.
This has been one of the shittest tours. One of the shittest tours I have, and I so need a spliff, man. And I'll be home probably in about 20 hours. So I've got a nice bit of green. I've got a solid something there waiting for me.
Well, I'll think of you when I'm smoking this particular variety that's going around after the Corona, I guess, lull, which is Star Dog. So isn't that funny? What's in the name? Nice one, Ali.
Are you stoned right now, Pete? Are you stoned right now?
No, I'm grand, man. Listen, I've been stoned since I was 18, so like, don't think I'm off in hell or anything. Come on,
Stoned
I can always
since you
handle
were
it myself.
18.
But yeah, definitely in good form.
Right, what
Okay.
about, I wanted to talk about, what about last night? In fact, Randy, the last couple of shows you've had have been awesome, with George and the Rumpus coming on and just getting owned by everybody.
Match, I have to say, I mean, the last, I don't say, last couple of weeks, I have noticed that the shows have really been great. I mean, maybe I'm just
Yeah,
being
yeah.
biased, but you know,
No, I would agree. I would agree. I would say about the last 2 weeks, it's just been whoever's been on, coming on. Like everybody's like tooled up with logic at the moment, and it's just great to hear these guys say the most stupid things, and repeat themselves and hurl insults at us and all that. I think it just exposes them, for what they truly are.
been epic shows, epic shows.
Yeah.
I don't know if you don't understand it or not, but all Rumpus and George are charged with is wasting your time. They've been singing from the same hymn sheet for 5 years.
Yep,
So to
yeah,
view
that's
that
right. I agree.
as a victory, well, I guess a victory to who? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the thing is, Pete, it's good. It's a kind of double-edged sword, because when you meet these guys, I like, I like listening to them because of the fact is they say the most dumbest things. It's a pity, someone didn't take like sound bites, because the Rumpus has said so stupid things, and George lying, backtracking, denying that he said something like 5 minutes before. You know what I mean? I think it's hilarious. But Pete, I
Don't you
will
know
ask
he's
you a
listening in
question.
tonight?
Oh, let me ask you a question. I will ask you a question. Why do you care where he came from? Why do you care, how it all started and stuff like that? Why? What's the importance of it to you?
You're asking me, Ali?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Well, anybody. It's
What are you
anybody at
saying?
all.
Everything, life, the
Why
universe,
do
and everything. You mean?
where we came from? Why are people? Because the thing is, that's what these space cadets are interested. They want
All right.
they're like the religious. Well, the religious people don't, because they know where they came from. But these
All
ball
right.
earthers, or these scientists. Wait a minute, let me finish. These scientists, people, they're saying, "Oh, this is what's got us into trouble." I would rather ask the question, where are we going, not where we came from. That's immaterial where we came from. It's where we're going, and where we're going at the moment is looking pretty dark. So there's no point, I know some people say, look in the past so you don't make the same mistakes, but that's a load of bollocks, man. We should be more aware of what's going to be like in the future. It's quite easy to project the way this is going, with,
Well,
if I'm okay to
do you not
speak
reckon
about
that the
corona.
only way you can know where you are is where you came from? Ultimately, I'm talking about, and the only way you can know where you're going is where you are. Do you not agree with that, Ali? Somewhat, because we know that the
Yeah,
ball Earth
well, I'll say,
history
right, yeah,
is
where you
bollocks,
are, but
right?
I don't believe the bit before it. No, I believe about the present and the future, right? But the past, nah, man, I don't
Yeah.
think people, like, if you, wait a minute, if you're always looking over your shoulder, right, always looking backwards, you don't know what you're going to bump into, because you're walking backwards, man, looking in the past. We should be looking forward and looking and trying to work out, solutions to it. You won't find solutions to,
Yeah.
well, where did I come from? And I just really don't care about that. It's not important, because it's a question you'll never be able to answer. Nobody will ever be able to
Well,
answer.
I think you'll find,
So
Ali, as you move
that's a
forward, you're
waste of
moving
time.
backwards.
My
As you
opinion.
move forward, you're moving
My
backwards. You're
opinion.
moving into the past. But let me just say, right, we have accepted to our hearts the heliocentric scientific model of life, the universe, and everything that is evolutionary in terms of Earth and personal arrival to this point, right? Now, once that is gone, you're just saying, well, forget about the real story. Just take it from here. Well, then you have to be necessarily as blind as ever going forward, then, don't you?
But that's how they've got us. No, because that's how they've got us by the bollocks, because we're too busy looking back and talking about stuff from the past and that, and not paying attention. And while we are thinking about the past, they are planning on the future. These guys don't think of the past, they project ahead, right? And we are,
Who
so if they're
guys? Yo, you know
projecting
these
ahead,
guys now. Who is these guys?
well, the control people that have got the what do you call it, the controller things, the guys that decide what laws come in, got to do with the populations, the movers and the groovers, shall I say? The guys
But,
that when they say something, wait a minute, when these guys say something or do something, it affects millions of people's lives.
Sure.
That's the people.
Well,
That's the
would you
people
not
I'm
agree
bothered
then,
about.
Ali? Would you not agree then, in order to identify them somewhat, we have to identify where they are coming from? Do you agree with that?
But we know, we've read the history, we know these are elite families.
But you're
or
saying
whatever.
forget about the history.
Yeah, exactly. Forget what I've just explained to you. What is the point of looking backwards when we're actually going forwards? You know, time, if you want to call it,
Well,
agree
to read the
as a
proper
concept,
history,
is
maybe.
going forward. Time doesn't go backwards, Pete. It goes forward, and these people know this, and so they project and they make things happen. So while we're looking backwards, these guys are free will, because by the time we do look forward, we're fucked. We're screwed, man. We're screwed. But anyway, that's
You
just
have a
my
point,
opinion.
Ali.
No, and
You're playing chess.
maybe
They're
someone
3
else.
moves ahead of everybody. You're absolutely right, my friend.
Yeah, but if you look forward,
How far away do you reckon this horizon is, guys? Right, let's just have a look at this. Here we have the lunar lander. Here we have the NASA man on the moon, right? NASA man on the moon with all the soil or dust around the lunar lander that hasn't blown away. Yeah. See it all down here? And look at the shadow. Look how close the shadow is of the lunar lander next to the horizon. Now, to my eye, that's around about 50 feet away. That's got to be a bit of an issue if you're on the moon.
No.
we
Let me
don't.
say something. Hey, Pete, they don't give a fuck who we are.
But who are
or
we?
anything like that. They don't care about individual. They don't care about the individual.
They obviously
They
hate
don't care.
us.
All they think about is the masses. They play percentages. If they can convince 30% or 40% of the population that, you know, of a certain reality, these people, the 40%, will judge over us. They'll affect our lives. Do you vote, Pete? No.
No, of course
you don't vote, do you? And I don't either, right? But they've convinced people that voting is the way forward. You know, you've got to vote, you get to voice your opinion and stuff like that. They've got people convinced on that. And if these people, you know, it's like that, what do you call it, that democracy thing, you know, mob rule kind of thing, you know, that kind of thing. 51% the population.
Yeah, but what are you talking about, Ali?
decide.
We're getting to sort of the deeper questions here. This is beyond flat Earth. And I mean, you're saying that our history and who we really are doesn't mean. So do you know who you are then as a human being, as a man? Who are you?
Yeah, of course I do, because I know myself, Pete.
Well, what are you then?
Now, I
Tell
don't know
me.
where I came. Well, I'm an honest. Well,
we know what they tell us, Ali. We come from apes, and, and the apes come from the fish, etc.
Yeah, but it's not about what they tell us, Pete.
I'm a hard-working, caring, honest man.
Yeah, so what is a man? What is a man? That's what I'm asking. What is a man?
A man is part of what produces
more
creation.
Men.
Little men.
More men and women and women. That's what a man is.
Yes, but what is it? What are our origins? We know the heliocentric evolutionary theory model. What are our true origins? You're saying don't look forward. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Or we're created,
right? Okay, right. So how's that going to save you? Say you find out that there is a God and it. Right, wait a minute, Pete. Right, say you find out, yep, there's a God. He created us. How's that going to change your life to the better?
Don't worry about that.
You already believe.
You worry about your own
thinking,
already
man. Believe. But you already believe there's a creator, right? And like myself, I believe this didn't just
a higher
power, accident, right?
There has to be a higher power.
Yeah, well, I can kind of go along. With them, and I don't go with that. It just started.
Yeah. So what if it's all about us waking up to our part?
But that's not enriched my life any. That's not enriched my life any. Oh yeah, I'm. You know, I'm. You know, oh, God exists. So what if he does?
What are you talking about here, man? What are you talking about?
Well, I'm talking about people should stop being.
The people who are in control know that something exists, right? And they know the true nature of us. And I'm just saying to you, maybe that's the pivotal point once we come to realize the true nature of us, Ali, by looking at the past, looking at the conflict, right, as it's truly laid out, amid all the bullshit, which is history, which is bunk, right? But then we come to know ourselves and we come to know our true power. And then maybe that allows us to overcome these, you know what I mean?
Right.
Possibly.
Well, yeah, okay, right. Well, that's not bad. But the thing is, then you have to go about convincing the very people that have been brainwashed, indoctrinated since they were kids. And the chances are that you might convert, you know, like two people every 10,000. You might think, oh, well, that's great. But those two people have to be, like, they have to have some kind of power, you know, influence. Like when they make a decision, it's going to affect, you know, it's going to change thousands of people's lives or millions of people's lives or something like that. But these people they're in that position of power because their minds won't be changed.
Wow, I need to do a massive shout out actually to James. You'll know who that is. James, who stopped by my PayPal earlier. I just noticed now. So that would have been an hour and 20 minutes ago. And stopped by PayPal and gave me some money in PayPal. So thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. That's really helpful. And of course, PayPal stops the 30% that YouTube take, and you don't have to give the super chats, you know. But you know, if you do use the super chat, remember that YouTube take 30% of that, at least if you do through PayPal. You get probably 97% of it. So yeah, that's very, 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 very surprising. And thank you very much. I really do appreciate that. So if anybody does support me through PayPal, I will give you a shout out. I'll leave my emails open. Obviously there's no reason for you to do it, but if you do, I will give you a huge shout out. So thank you very much.
Secrets of State Act, right?
Yeah, but wait a minute, listen. But
yeah, but wait a minute. Right? Yes, I'm not.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but I don't. But hey, the thing is, it's that to me. Listen. That to me, wait a minute. That to me was nothing. That means that what I signed there and what they thought it represents to me, that represents nothing to me. Listen, you've got to understand, as a 17-year-old kid, when I worked in the nuclear submarine base, outside Fans Lane, there was a peace camp. I used to come out of Fans Lane at signing the Official Secrets Act, go into the peace camp, sit, have cups of tea, smoke joints, and tell them the layout of Fans Lane, and tell them all about everything that went on there when I believed that nuclear weapons are bad. I don't care. But I'm insignificant to these people. They know I'm no threat at all, so they don't bother. You can say what you like. People are too scared. It's a bit arrogant to think, you know, that they're going to be listening to my telephone calls because, you know, I'm going to make a difference. We're nothing, mate. We're nothing in their eyes. We're nothing, and we have no influence, kind of thing. You know, we can only influence the people around us, the family. That's the people we should be concentrating on, is the people closest to us, and just speaking to them.
Well, you continue thinking like that, Ali. That's fair enough.
Amen, Ali B. Amen.
What about what does the rest of the panel think? I mean, obviously, right the hand.
Yeah.
Right the hand. Do you want to chirp in here? Is there, you know, you're listening to these two? What would you say?
You know, man, Pete likes to, you know, find out why we're here and get people's opinions and why we're here. Not everybody's for that, you know, and even if then, it's a very unique thing to consider why we're here. So. Yeah, I don't know. I think it would be, you can't tell anybody why they're here because maybe everybody's here for a different reason.
Yeah, I mean, what happens?
Well, that was deep.
I mean, what would happen, Pete, if you you know, if there is some kind of reincarnation in some way where you're sent back to improve yourself from your past life?
Or even if you get a perfect score and you get to play again to help others. What about that? You know, what if you beat the game and then one of the...
Well, you asked me the question, right? And my current thinking is we answer to ourselves at the end of the day because we're greater than the material given to us, right? Remember, all of this pathway we're on, given to us by someone called Aristarchus of Samos. Yes, don't look back, Ali, unless you realize that when you do look back, you look back with extremely critical eyes. None of these characters existed, then it's all scripted out in a certain way, right? And if it is, as you go along with it, maybe there's a thread, maybe there's a series of breadcrumbs that we were allowed to follow upon entry, part of the game rules, right? Which will lead us somewhere. And that's all I'm saying. 5 years later, as flat earthers, more for some of us, I'm a flat earther, I would say 2013, considered the first time 2011, I suppose, right? So there's more to the story. And if you're not going to work out, well, who you are in relation to this whole experience, well, is that my fault? That's not my fault. And right to hand, you know this as well, because you've cast your mind. Of course, you have these ways, as everyone must do. Right?
Well, how have you figured yourself out, Pete? Where do you see yourself in all of this? What have you figured out for yourself?
I said earlier, I'm miserable, man. How can you look forward to anything? How can you look back to? How can you make sense out of any of this stuff?
So if you can't make sense of it, why are you saying that we should try and make sense of it too? So we can just sit around saying that we couldn't make sense of it as well.
Otherwise, what's the point then, Ranty? You having the same discussions with George?
Yeah, but if we're all going to sit around and all say to the same, do the same amount of thinking that you've done and all come to the same conclusions that we can't figure anything out, what's the point?
I never said that. I told you that I do hold that the new era began 4/20/2020. But is it manifesting? We can look at the world turmoil at the minute. It's waiting for resolution. In what direction does it resolve? Ali maintains here that they have ultimate control. You are a nobody. Just get on with your life, do what you do, and sort of bow and consent within your mind, especially within your being.
That, Pete. I never said the bound, and you're beginning to sound like a baller there. I never said bound.
Well, you are saying that though. They make the rules. You said they're making the rules, so we just follow along with the rules. We know that they are all powerful, Ali.
Yeah, but I choose what rules to follow.
That's
and
fair
if their
enough.
rules suit me, right? So yeah, right. It's like that. That's what I used to laugh about. These people say, "Oh, let's bug out and go out into go off grid and stuff like that." Well, why go off grid? Just think the benefits. You can actually get benefits if you're smart enough. You can get actually benefits out of being in the system, but being able to come in and out, decide when you want to use the system to your favor.
You can change your status from being trustee to beneficiary under trust. That is your legal name. When you do that,
I know about that.
You go through the proper process, then you can profit from the artificiality. But then you're selling yourself, Ali, because you're representing yourself as something you are not. This is what it comes back to. Who are we really? If you're saying that you don't think about this, well, what's wrong with you then? Isn't that what we're here for?
But I know I don't have to think. See, the thing is, I don't. It's like what do you call it? It's like it's like in the subconscious, right? I know who I am regarding legally, lawfully. I know exactly who I am, right? So when I interact with the police or any of them like that, I what do you call it? I pick my battles, and I always ask, what I always say to my friends when we go in about the police, I say, I'll ask you this question. When you're driving along the road, right, and you look in your rear view mirror and you see the police behind you, not flashing lights, just behind you, yeah, do you feel safe? Right? And they'll say, well, they don't think of that, do they? Because I use that to prove my point when they say the police are there to protect us. I say, okay, ask you that question. When you look in the rear view mirror, you see the police behind. What's your initial reaction? Do you think, oh yeah, there's the police, that's good. I feel a lot safer now. No, you don't. Now there's a reason, and that's what I say to people, and then that gets people thinking.
For God's sake, Ali. For God's sake, what you should be saying to everyone listening right now is that, look, the legal name comes about because of the divide between the land and the invading waters. They are pirates on the sea, maritime law, right? So when we consent to being a legal name, we are a name on a vessel. It literally is that you buy a ship, Ranty, and you put a name on that boat and you register it. as a legal person, you are representing that boat, that entity, but fundamentally is the invading waters, right? Because Earth is not, as we are not, in our natural state. But even in our unnatural state, the land is our true inheritance, and more so, not the land from a spinning ball fantasy Earth, the land of a flat surface Earth, right? What the Earth is something different, and I think the clues have all been placed there, right, to tell us exactly what that might be. But that's up to you. Then the onus is up to you, and you can't make anyone else go there. I guess. Let me just say this: at the end of the day, this is all just some people talking. The truth is always known by some, whoever has scripted all of this.
The thing is, Pete, right? The thing is, the way that I look at it anyway, right? The people, right? What you just said there, you go and try and tell Mr. and Mrs. Jones about. You go and try and explain the legal name fraud, right? They'll just look at you like a dog, like you know, the head side to side trying to learn a new trick or something like that. The point is, because they've been programmed, you are trying to rewrite a program. To rewrite a program, you need to be a programmer, and if you don't know how to program, that would be a lot of nonsense what you said to these people. They've been indoctrinated and programmed to react in a certain way when people like you or me come and say, hey, by the way, do you realise that, you know, when the police say, you know, coming in, you don't have to contract them with them. They work for you. You pay. I say this to people, right? I have conversations with normal people, quotation marks, normal people, right? And I tell them about.
What the hell, Ali? Are we talking to
example.
normal people? I'm talking to someone here who has had his head in all of this for 5 years and beyond. What's the bottom line in all of this? Come on, man.
We're getting screwed big time, man. And if it doesn't change soon, it's basically not the end for me or my family. My family are well clued up. They my daughter and my son know all about it. I've said, look, I said that it could be right or wrong. I'm just telling this information, and you use it as you will, and they'll notice things. They'll notice things if you put things into people's. But you can't go on and you know, because you're fighting against an indoctrination, these triggers, anchors, and all this that have been put into people's brains. The minute we start talking or we say specific words, these people get cognitive dissonance, switch off, and start shouting at you. Look at the rumpus. Well, the rumpus is different. I'm not talking about them. But I've had people.
Yeah, you've had people. What? he's gone. Right, okay.
We just lost him.
We just lost him. Right. Okay.
What's he dwelling on this aspect of it for, though?
He's back.
What's he dwelling on this aspect of it for?
Kind of
It's
stuff.
ridiculous.
That's not natural. But the thing is, Pete, that's not natural. So that tells me something unnatural has been done to these people, and it by professionals. These guys are professionals. These people that write this script and then got a program it into people, they're professionals. They've had thousands of years to practice it. That's just my opinion.
Come on, Ali, for God's sake. This is Ranty's last show. Give us something explosive.
Yeah,
I mean, you talk about the
No,
day.
no.
You talk about not looking into the past, right? But how are we supposed to know who the fucking they are, what direction they're sending us, either wittingly or unwittingly?
Who is they?
Right,
Yeah, well,
exactly. This is
all
what
right,
I'm
Pete.
saying. Ali's talking about converting your next door neighbor.
Well, where do you
Come
think
on,
we'll
though.
be in a year, Pete? Where do you think this whole system will be in a year? What
It's
do you
all
see
finished,
happening?
man. It's all
What do you
it's
see?
all ramping up
What do you
to
see
the very
happening?
near future, Rand.
Do you see?
Yeah, I'll agree.
Do you see people rising up against the governments? Do you see that happening? Do you think that's what's going to happen?
It's starting.
There is no government, really. I mean,
Well,
it's all a sort of farce, a theater.
Who
It's all a
said that?
presentation.
Who said that? Who said it's starting?
Well, what's your view then?
Well, hang on. Don't you just say the same shit, Pete? I want to hear somebody else's opinion on this.
All right, okay.
I'm a man of few words.
You said it's starting, Rob. What do you mean?
It is starting. I mean, people are starting to wake up to the deception that is going on all around us right now. Because we have been deceived.
Anyone else agree with that? What do you think? Pete.
Well, here in Finland, there's people waking up too.
Okay, so when you say they're waking up, what is it they're doing?
Well, you see them online talking about the legal stuff and even against like the politicians. There's a lot of backlash about some decisions that they've made with like this whole COVID thingy.
You think that's what it's all going to boil down to at the end of the day? Is this COVID? Do you think that's one thing too many for people? Do you think 9/11 was a one way into it, and this is like the final coup de grace for them?
Well, the Finnish people, they don't really fight back until they're really like pushed down. But when it's too much, then they really fight back. So we're starting to hit that point where people are seriously having enough, and they're gonna start ditching out from the government.
They'll hit
Start
the
living their
snow
own lives.
sleds. The snow sleds head down the hill and form militias if they have to.
Yeah.
I did see a
Well,
video.
it's most likely gonna be like farmer. Most people up north they don't really like get along with city people. The city people have no idea what it's like to live out on the land.
Well, city people in general, don't matter where you are, I think they're more important and prestigious and live better than country folk farming
Yeah.
and stuff. But the country folk have a better life, better community, better social everything. I mean, I'd rather be
And
in
they're
the country
smarter.
with regular people than in a city with snobs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Like every
yeah,
time
I
I'm in
agree.
the cities, it just feels like there's so many rude people. It's just everybody's in a hurry everywhere, and yeah, it's just I hate the cities. Just horrible.
my Facebook,
Well,
my because I've got two Facebooks. I've got one that I use to promote, obviously, Flat Earth on, and I've got my normal, what I would say, everyday Facebook that I have my real life friends on, and some of my friends from school on. So it's a very small Facebook, in general, that one. But those people that are on there, I've seen a change with some of the people's posts. They used to wear your mask and cover up and go and clap the NHS and stuff. And a lot of that's changed now. A lot of that's changed to putting memes out and stuff that are basically mocking it all, And I'm seeing a lot more of that. I'm seeing a big swing from people's opinion. I would say it was probably 90%, maybe more, 95% originally that was all supporting of these measures. And now I would say it's maybe only about 30%. So it's been a massive swing. For every one meme I see or something from somebody supporting these measures, I see two other memes from two different people giving it, the real opinion, which is that there is no virus killing people.
Well, Randy, one of my friends, was conforming to the mask on the buses and everywhere. He started feeling very uncomfortable with it. After a few days, he had a rash and his face broke out. He can't wear one now.
Yeah, somebody else, I saw another, where people wearing these masks, they get this skin infection. I forget what they called it now. But anyway, there was a young girl on there. She had it all around the mouth and stuff. And it's nasty. I mean,
A staph infection or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
He said it got worse after he shaved. Well, when you shave, you're, exposing capillaries and little nicks and stuff. You don't always see them, but they're there.
Mm.
And, you're giving a nice bacteria and humid place for things to grow on your face.
I think it's interesting, like I say, that public opinion has changed, and especially where I am. So, I mean, you wouldn't say it's in the sticks kind of thing, but it's certainly not in a city. It's definitely not in a city. So I don't know if there's a big difference between how people view these things in a city. Maybe it's because people that live in the city, they're more plugged into the system. The more, in that, supporting the the governments and stuff because of the jobs that they have going in cities and stuff. I mean, maybe that's a different lifestyle, a different way of thinking, as opposed to people that live away from all of that, you know, and just do the regular stuff.
There are pictures of little children in their loincloths playing with bladder balls on the Congo River and stuff, and they got their face masks on. So they're as remote as Job, you know, and somehow they need face masks in the jungle where really not even tourists come to see them. It's propaganda.
That's propaganda, yeah. That's propaganda.
Well, I had a really weird experience with two people. We were doing a removal there, and I just happened to talk to these couple oldest kind of people. Well, oldest. They're probably about my age actually. They looked a lot older, but probably maybe 60 or something. But anyway, they had masks on, right? And I was like, oh yeah, and I moved towards them, right? And I didn't get within 2 meters, and they were literally putting their hands up and stepping back. And this is in the middle of the street in London. They were in fear of their lives.
They're in fear.
So I don't know what's happening in London. They were in fear. Yeah, they're in fear of their lives, man.
The fact
My
is,
father's the same. My father's convinced. Sorry, on you go. Sorry, Jack.
People are suppressing coughing, even sneezing, which is a very bad thing to do. You do that to clear your lungs, to clear your windpipe, to clear your nasal cavities. It's natural. You cough up phlegm every once in a while. Every day we breathe in dust and stuff. It irritates. It causes some phlegm to build up around it. And, well, we expectorate it. Or normally we cough it out.
Yeah. There was a
People
meme
aren't doing that no more.
There was a meme going around from a friend. It was a female friend actually. She put it out, and it said she would write. You know, the meme basically said that she would rather fart than cough. You know, so if she's in a queue now, you know, she would rather do a massive fart than cough. Or sneeze, you know.
I guess fecal matter airborne in your nasal cavity is better than coronavirus. See?
Yeah, well,
Speaking of that, did you guys hear the president and the first lady got the coronavirus today? Did you guys hear that?
Oh, did they?
Well, apparently so. But is it going to be like? Is this a scheme by?
That's the story.
Is it a scheme by Trump because it's on like a month to the elections? For him to have this for about a week and a half and then say to everybody, well, I had it and it's fine. There's nothing really, you know, nothing worse than the flu.
Yeah, it was no big deal.
No big deal, yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Good idea, yeah.
He could be going for the sympathy vote.
Yeah.
You know?
Or is it going to take him out?
Jimbo, do you remember Karl Rove? Or does anyone here remember Karl Rove?
He was the president candidate one day way back.
Yeah, you know him.
Yeah, I remember vaguely.
Yeah, so he's on air on camera talking about how, no matter how clever, and I'm putting it in other words, no matter how clever you think you are, we are always 6 or 16 steps ahead. You can even look that up on YouTube. He's saying that. So there's a greater script being played out. And I guess there's one script for the masses, right? And there's another script for the people who took the time to look into the basis of their reality. That's all I'm getting at.
Let's welcome Professor Phil. Professor Phil Bell, how's it going? Let's do a quick mic check.
Very well, thank you.
Nice
to. Yes, I just thought I'd pop in and say hello to Ranty on his final night. He does provide us with entertainment, so I think a valuable resource on the internet. Thank you for what you do.
Thank you very much, Professor. Thank you very much, Professor Phil. Appreciate that. And
Professor Phil, do you think Ranty is the best globe Earth prover or proponent?
No, I think people are just joking when they say that.
No, it's not just information. It's not just entertainment. It's information related.
You get it a lot, Ranty, though, don't you? You get that a lot.
Which is not a science shaping. A shape is not scienceable.
Definitely information as well, because I mean, there's lots of you get lots of people coming and going who share bits of information, and you can sieve through it and decide what you want to take out of it and what you don't want to take out of it, and what is good and what is nonsense. But it's still all information.
Basically.
Yeah, that's it. You'll take out of it according to your world view. So if you're like a brainwashed like numpty like you are, you'll decide to take the bits that agree with you rather
Straight
than...
in there, Ali.
Well,
yeah, well, he's a prick. He's a prick, man.
Well, hang on. Hold on.
Wait a minute. Let me say
He's
something.
just pretentious.
He comes on nice.
Hold on. Can I say hello to? Good morning, everybody.
Hold on, guys. Listen, I haven't.
Martin.
Listen, no ad homs at the minute,
morning.
please. Listen. I know Professor Phil's coming to do a presentation, so I believe. Is that right?
No, I won't.
Let's take it easy on him.
Just leave if he's presenting something.
Right, hang on. Everybody just overtalked. Literally everybody overtalked, and then I'm gonna have to start muting people. Right, Professor Phil, what did you say?
Okay, I said that unfortunately life catches up with you, and things have happened over here which prevented me from putting that presentation together for you. So I'll wait till you come back for that. But I really just popped in to wish you well.
Yeah.
Okay, and have a little chat.
Yeah, well, thank you very much.
Right, and the thing is, this is what I don't like about these guys, because that's all he was. What he'll do, and then the next time he'll disagree with it, he'll make a video calling you a retard and an idiot. Nobody ever seen this guy's videos, no? They come in and act all nicey, right? Then they just go away and make videos about you and laugh about you behind your back. They're so disingenuous.
Yeah, Ali.
Well, he just has
fuckers,
so much
man.
invested in the dogma that he's had to believe it all his life. He has no choice but to do it.
It's so disingenuous. It's like, do you know what I mean? It makes my skin crawl when you hear people like
Let's
that.
not get the judgmental.
It's just
That's not a fair assumption.
Let's be nice to him. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Let's be nice to the guy.
Hang on, Ali.
No, let's be nice to the guy that's been. Let's be nice to a guy that's been slagging us off and calling us.
Yeah, well, you were nice to George last night.
Let's be nice.
Let's ask Professor Bell a serious question. Professor Bell, are two horizontal lines parallel? That's my question to Professor.
They can be, or if they're horizontal, then they'll be parallel. Yes, if they.
So all horizontal lines are parallel.
One would think so.
Okay.
I mean, if based on your
even bendy ones
of horizontal.
Hang on, Professor Bell. If I point horizontally now, and Ali points horizontally, or Ranty, or anyone else, let's say someone in America points horizontally, will we be pointing in a parallel direction?
If someone in America points horizontally, and you in the UK point horizontally,
right, will we be pointing in a parallel direction?
It will definitely not be parallel.
Well, didn't you say all parallel lines are horizontal?
Yeah, yes. If you in the
say
same local spot.
Yeah, it's only on the same local spot.
Oh gosh.
Only on the same
here we
local
go.
spot. So,
well, let anyone answer it. Let each
so
and every one of us answer it.
Yeah, you didn't
all
mention.
Flat earthers will say yes. All horizontal.
Yeah, but you didn't mention the fact you could be in different places to him. You were making up.
Fair.
Right, well, I see that the Rumpus has come in there to save Professor Phil before he gets annihilated. So this should be an interesting segment that's coming up. Expect your ears to perhaps pop a couple of times because that's what the Rumpus does. So get ready for the debate to properly begin. In the meantime, since this is the last chance that I'm going to get for a few months at least, to shout out my PayPal. So if anybody wants to actually support me on PayPal, there is a link in the box beneath this video, and I've also pinned a comment at the top. It's in blue, and if you click that, it will give you a link that you can go to my PayPal and support me there too. So yes, I am sorry that I am e-begging, but ultimately, needs must when you don't have a job and are not going to be working for the next few months. So I do apologise for that, but if you do want to support the show, that would be really, really appreciated. Right, let's get into this. Here we go.
You don't have parallel lines will touch. Things that they start off being parallel, if you follow the surface of the Earth, just like if you were to draw lines of longitude on a football, you drew on a globe, and then you had them parallel at one point on the equator, and they would then meet at the North Pole, and therefore
the standard. Is there a special? Is Is there a
That's
special
one big
definition for parallel in that sense? Because the standard definition of parallel is lines that neither converge nor diverge.
Pete, do you want to do a little thought experiment with me?
Sure, man. And let the whole panel get involved as well. But sure,
Okay,
Professor.
sure. All right. So let's say you've got two fingers spread apart a couple of inches on a basketball, a ball about that size. Okay. Now you move both fingers 90 degrees up. So if you were on a piece of paper and you put two fingers on a piece of paper, you've got a straight line, and then from that straight line, you move your two fingers. You keep moving your two fingers up 90 degrees, right? They will be parallel, won't they? Would you agree with that?
Well, are you talking about 90 degrees on a plane above the basketball?
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
you
just
have
a
to
flat
drop
piece
down the point?
a flat piece of paper. Okay.
Okay.
There's a line on a flat piece of paper. Move your two fingers at 90 degrees away from the line, parallel to each other. Okay. You can just keep going, and they will never touch. They'll keep going indefinitely parallel as long as you can move across the piece of paper. And when you look at it, you'll see two parallel lines.
But who is the observer here? From whose perspective are we judging all of this?
I'm not asking for something really hard to do. A line on a piece of paper.
This is the whole point of it.
A line on a piece of paper. If you like, you can just draw two lines parallel that are right angles to this line that you had on a piece of paper. These two lines will never touch. Now, let's take these same two lines, these same two fingers on a ball. Put them at the equator of the ball. That's the straight line. Put them at the equator of the ball and move them up. You will see that at 90 degrees, if you move them up at 90 degrees, they will come to a point at the top of the ball.
Phil, did you say the equator
That's
is
exactly
a straight line?
what the rumpus was trying to tell you.
This is fundamentally latitude and longitude. Sorry, Paige.
That's okay. Did you say the equator is a straight line?
Yes, the equator is a straight line around the circumference of the Earth. Yes.
Okay. What's your definition of a straight line?
Well, in other words, for if you're looking at it from the perspective of north to south.
No. Just the definition.
A straight line. Paige, you know what a straight line
what's
is.
the definition?
What is a straight line?
It doesn't veer.
Here, I might know what she's trying to get at. Let me ask a different question. Is a sphere a 3D shape or a 2D shape?
No.
Yeah. Answer Paige's question.
Answer Paige's question.
If you're not clear about this, Paige, then what you can do for yourself.
Oh, Phil.
Grab a piece of
hold on. Everybody be quiet. Everybody be quiet, and just let Professor Phil answer. And then we'll ask the question again in a different way. So go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So what you can do for yourself is grab a piece of paper and wrap it around a thin piece of paper. Wrap it around the equator of a ball. Okay. All right. That means halfway, right dead center of the ball. Wrap a piece of paper so it goes right around. Now, grab a pen, a Sharpie or something like that, and follow that piece of paper. Follow the equator right around so that you've got this line right around the equator of the ball. Now,
and then remove the piece of paper and lie it out. I understand what you're trying to get at.
Now take your piece. Just wait, please. Now take your piece of paper off the ball and lie it flat on the table and tell me what shape the line is.
Sure, Phil. Now, can you please give me your definition of a straight line?
You got it right there.
That's not a definition.
Okay, so in other words, it doesn't veer. It doesn't veer. It doesn't.
That's an uncurved line, straightened, Phil.
It doesn't veer.
Hang on,
I can clear this up. Is the equator a circle?
Okay,
Phil?
All right, I'll give you a mathematical one.
Is the equator a circle?
No, I
is
want
the equator
a verbal definition of
He
what
won't
a
do it.
straight line is to you, Phil. What
Okay.
is the definition of a
All
straight
right.
line
So,
to you?
all right. So this will be my definition, and you can accept
Thank
it or
you.
not.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay. So y equals any number, or x equals any number will give you a straight line on a two-dimensional plane.
That's not a definition.
That's my definition.
Okay, my
Yeah, a
definition.
straight line is.
My
Go.
definition for a straight line.
That is a point, Phil. Sorry, Paige. He's just after defining a point.
Yes, and a point has
XY
no
coordinate.
magnitude. Yeah, a point has no.
No,
magnitude.
that's
So
not a
what's the
point. Have none of you learnt
Can
anything about linear?
Phil,
Have none of you
can I
known
please
anything
say-
about linear equations?
You didn't
What is a
understand
point,
Phil-
Professor? What is a point?
Has anybody learnt any linear equations there?
They didn't understand you, Phil, I'm afraid. They're all incredibly
Okay, think
stupid.
about the Cartesian plane, right?
Equations aren't
Can I
definitions, though.
finish,
On a
Phil?
Cartesian
Equations
plane,
aren't definitions.
on a Cartesian plane,
Rumpus is back. He must have done some research.
my God.
Yeah, Rumpus is coming in to save him, which we
No,
knew that
on
was
a
the case.
Cartesian
He
plane,
was correct. And Paige
Y
and a couple
equals
of other
N
people
or X
didn't
equals N
understand what he
are
said.
both
Answer
Right,
Paige's
please
question. What
let-
is the straight line?
Please let
Come on.
Rumpus, please let Professor Phil answer the question.
it's my definition. You can accept it or not. If you don't know what a Cartesian plane is, that's your problem.
Yes, we live on one, Phil.
Then you should
We
know.
understand.
Good. You got my definition then.
Is
A
a Cartesian
straight
plane
line-
two-dimensional or
Oh,
three-dimensional,
fuck me.
Professor?
Pete, can you
Well,
just let
it can
Paige
be
not gonna
three-dimensional. You can have
Hold on, Paige.
you can add Z to it.
Ranty,
Pete.
it's a relevant question, and I'm qualified to answer.
Right, okay, so I've had to mute Pete because he doesn't understand when two people are having a debate that, they want to have this debate. Paige, if you're still there and you haven't just rage quit, do you want to try again?
Yeah, a straight line, its extremities lie even. Okay? You can't have a straight line that is curved. So, and you can't have a straight line that is a point. A point has no magnitude. No, it's a point, not a line. So what they do is they set their verticals, even though it's the same vertical, you're using the same word and the same definition. If you set your vertical and you move 100 feet and you set your vertical again, even though it's the same word, same definition, it means the same thing, they will tell you that that vertical is angled compared to the vertical that you set before.
Correct.
Now, they have no proof that that actually happens.
We can measure
They
it.
just tell you, oh my God, see, I can't say one.
Rumpus, please stop interrupting. It's between Professor Phil and Paige.
No, Rumpus I've already said as much as I intend to say about that. Okay, so whatever the rest of it you guys want to say about it, it's fine.
Tag teaming it again.
So he's
Okay, right.
quitting.
So you're not going to let the final question. You've said what you're going to say, and that's that. Yeah.
No. What I've said is that I've given you my definition of it. I'll answer any questions that relate to my
But
definition.
Phil,
But
don't
that
you
is my
understand that
definition.
geometry, earth measure, right?
Well, that kind of exposed Professor Phil there, didn't it?
A system of logic. It's so, everything is defined so specifically because it gives you perfection.
You got that?
Yeah, so why are you changing the definitions of these beautiful words, this perfect system that we have? Why are you murdering it and saying a straight line is an X or, number of an X or something or other?
Did you understand what I even said, Paige?
No, I didn't, because it wasn't a definition.
Well, yeah, well, it was. For
It
anybody who
wasn't
knows
the
what a
definition
Cartesian...
of a straight line in geometry, Phil. It just wasn't.
For
It was just
anybody-
your made-up definition.
No, it's in math.
Paige,
Why
for
are
anybody who knows...
Why are you people trying to destroy science and trying to destroy now geometry? My goodness. How
Paige.
dare you, Phil? Really?
Paige,
Well, Shout out to John M. Scott for the $10 Australian. They can never answer a straight question, can they? LOL. Have a good break, Ranty, and a beer on me. Thank you very much. And yeah, in the new year, I definitely will take you up on that. I definitely will have a new beer in the new year.
Vertical,
No.
horizontal, these things come from the earth, not from our
Paige.
imagination.
Paige, I hope
Like math.
hell.
Math is from our imagination.
I hope
Geometry's
like hell
from the
your
earth.
your kids' teachers teach them linear geometry. In other words,
Because
linear
it's
equations.
earth geometry.
I hope they teach them.
What?
I hope your kids' teachers will teach you about what a linear equation is.
Okay.
I hope your teachers will teach your kids about what
I'm sharing my
graph
screen for
is.
you. I'm sharing my screen for you, Professor Phil.
Yeah.
I've looked it up. Maths is fun. Definitions of a straight line: a line that does not curve. In geometry, a line is always straight, no curves.
Up on a two-dimensional surface, yes.
In geometry, a line is always straight, no curves.
In geometry, yeah.
This is for kiddies, and it's only in 2D.
Oh, it's for kids. Oh, why would you think it's for kiddies?
Thank you, Ranty.
A definition is a definition, is it not?
Maths is fun. It's for kiddies.
Ah, I
They're
see.
teaching children the basics.
So they're teaching children the wrong thing.
You need the foundation. You need a foundation to build on. We teach our children the foundation of geometry, the actual definitions of vertical, horizontal, parallel, all these things.
Yeah, but when you're on in spherical geometry, when you're drawing lines on the surface of a
We're
sphere,
on the Earth.
could you please stop interrupting? I'm talking about conceptual. Forget the Earth
Yes, I know
shape.
you're talking
Hold on, forget the Earth
darling.
shape. We're not
That's my
interested.
whole point.
This has got nothing to do with the Earth shape.
No, it doesn't have spherical geometry. It doesn't have anything to do with the Earth. You're damn right.
Sentence.
Sure, Rumpus, go ahead.
Geometry and definitions. It's got nothing to do with the shape of the Earth. The definition of a straight line.
I can't wait to soundbite that.
Oh my God. So on the
right, please let Rumpus finish.
Jesus Christ. In 2D geometry and in 3D Euclidean geometry, straight lines are the shortest distance between two, and also what Professor Phil Bell said, because he was giving you the equation of a straight line, which obviously you don't know because you don't know anything about this. But in spherical geometry, when you're following on the surface of a curve, that's non-Euclidean geometry, and we say in that situation, straight lines are not actually straight; they are geodesics. But for most of the time, you want to consider it. Indeed, that's why we say a line. We normally imply that it's a straight line. Only if we say it's curved, we call it a curved line. So straight lines are always straight unless you're in a non-Euclidean geometry. Finished.
Yes, and the Earth, Euclidean geometry, was created by measuring the Earth.
No,
so when you start talking about
nothing to do with the Earth.
I let you finish. Yes, geometry, Earth measure.
Nothing to do with the
so
Earth.
when you start talking about spherical geometry, you're talking about something you think of in your head, like the train tracks that start to look like they're converging off in the distance because of perspective. All they did was go, gee, I wonder what we could do if we just imagine what happens after that point. So that's what they did. They imagined.
Geometry is a conceptual thing. It's nothing to do with the shape of the Earth. No, you're using the etymology. You're using the etymology of the word to confuse the issue. Geometry is a purely conceptual. Be quiet. It's a purely conceptual, theoretical thing, and then you can start applying
spherical
it to the
geometry
Earth.
Your spherical geometry is, but no. Euclidean geometry was created from the Earth, water level, knowing what horizontal is, what we're standing, so we know what vertical is.
Geometry is
it's created from reality.
No, it's just
It's not made up. It's created from reality.
Geometry is a conceptual thing. then you can start
From
applying the rules of
reality.
look. Put it like this: the definition in the Euclidean geometry, there's no definition said this has got to be based on the shape of the Earth. It starts off with just 5 premises that have got nothing to do with something in the real world. It just defines what a straight line is, defines the points and things, and what parallel lines are. There's nothing in there about.
And then you go and change all that.
There's nothing in there that is based on the premises are not based on the Earth at all. There are just 5 premises in Euclidean geometry, nothing to do with the Earth. They're entirely built up like a pyramid of information that's just built up from 5 concepts.
Which is fair enough, Paige, because if we think about a basketball and how to map out the surface of it, right, we've come up with a certain system. Now, when we start extending it
But Pete,
to
we
the
came
shape
up
and
with
nature of our
Euclidean
Earth,
geometry because they looked at the Earth and tried to measure the
right?
Earth. So
This is
that's
the
where
point.
Euclidean geometry comes from.
But
Then
they've
spherical
extended it.
geometry came from our perspective, the way we look at things, and then we extrapolate, we imagine.
Geometry comes from 5 premises called axioms, and all of geometry
Yes.
just comes from those 5 axioms, which is not based on
But you
anything
go
else.
and murder
They're
them.
not based. No, they're not based on the Earth. There are just 5 premises in Euclid's geometry from which all of geometry is created. There is no reference to the Earth or anything to do with the Earth or reality.
What's spherical geometry?
What does
Why they
geo
call it
mean?
Geometry.
Geometry
Yeah,
has to refer to the Earth.
Nothing to do with
Literally,
the Earth.
Earth measurement.
Yeah, that's
Was
just
literally.
spherical geometry created out of
that's the
Euclidean
name
geometry?
of it, but it's not actually in
Yeah,
practice
exactly.
based on
It's
the Earth.
called that for a reason.
No, it's not
Yeah,
called
I
that for a
actually-
reason.
It's not
Here's a
called
flat
that
earther
for a
of-
reason.
Unlike in the baller world, words have meaning here.
Since I'm unmuted
Rumpus,
there,
maybe
can
you're
I?
brave enough to answer right the hand's question before, because the professor didn't
let me-
answer it. Is
Well,
the equator
let me,
considered a circle?
I just
I'm going to shout out Mark for stopping by PayPal and giving a $20 support there for the show and for me. So thank you very much for stopping by my PayPal there. It really, really, really is very helpful at this time. Thank you very much.
If you wanted to think if it was water there, then would that be... No, it wouldn't actually, because
How does the equator have a
How would you
topography?
classify it? Would you classify it a
well,
straight line
imaginary
or a
line.
circle?
Pete, what do you mean by the equator? Are you referring to the line that follows the thing or goes up and down over mountains?
That's right, the hand. But the equator is an imaginary
100
line. It has no
Okay, if it's
topography.
if you want to think of it as an imaginary line, then the actual equator.
That's what the equator is, everybody.
Well, not really.
Yeah,
It's actually
Yes, we know that, but in their heads,
Oh
it's
my
actual, Pete. You know that.
the equator is following something on the Earth. It has a
Can
physical
you imagine the
relationship.
topography if you drew it as is?
Okay, let's imagine there's water. Okay, let's imagine there was just water along the equator. And then you're going to say to me, does that water level form a perfect circle? Well, actually, no, it doesn't, because the Earth's gravity in different places is a different value. So things are slightly higher or lower than they would be for a perfect piece of geometry. So no, it wouldn't be
definitely not a straight line.
It
though,
wouldn't
isn't
be.
it?
So it wouldn't be a perfect circle, but it's goddamn close to it. Very close.
So it's not
Definitely
a straight
not
line.
straight
Curving
line.
line.
So
Is it?
definitely not a straight line.
Yes.
Hey, listen to this, guys. Super chat from Gerhard Selig, who says, "This is from nobody. Have a drink on me. Cheers." And $1 goes to Paige. So I'm going to have to give you a page there, a $1 there, Paige.
That's very sweet.
Ranty,
Thank you, Gerhard.
So, Ranty, since I'm unmuted, let me ask Rumpus, do you agree, which is the reason why I got muted in the first place, Professor Billfell said that with Cartesian coordinates, a line is defined by any point or anywhere on the x-axis and anywhere on the y-axis. Now, if we get anywhere on the x-axis, anywhere, that leads to a point. Would you agree that leads to a point?
No, he did not say that. What he
Yes,
said.
he did say that.
No, he did not. Let me repeat.
And
what
then
he
when
said.
I quizzed him, he said, well, it
No,
can be
no,
2D or 3D.
No. Yeah, let me repeat what he said. He said for a value y is equal to an x, and he missed off the fact you can have a gradient. But fundamentally, a y coordinate is equal to an arbitrary y value can equal an arbitrary x value if those represent two coordinates. The x and y are 90 degrees to one another, so that's on a 2D plane, and you can have this x, y, z. So all he was giving you was the formula for a straight line, which
That's
Paige
not what
doesn't
he said,
understand.
man. He
It
corrected
is.
himself.
He said y is equal to x is actually what he said.
Corrected
He mi-
himself, and I got muted, which is fair enough.
Well,
But who else is qualified
which is the
to quiz a
formula,
professor? I have a
which
degree
is
in
the
mechanical
formula
engineering.
for a
So
straight line in math. If you knew, I mean,
But
you did some. Pete, you hold on. Let me just.
Rumpus,
You
is spherical geometry
Pete,
based on
Pete,
Right,
Euclidean
hold on.
Hang on, Pete.
Hold on.
Pete, you did an engineering degree. You must be familiar with a formula for a straight line.
Right, listen. Let Pete say
Yes, I
his
am.
thing at least. You know.
Yes, I am, though.
Right.
Ranty, I
So
studied
that's
all this.
all he was
And
saying.
hang
Right,
on, let me
Pete.
say my thing then, Rumpus, on this
Okay,
final night
that's
of
all he was saying,
Ranties.
Pete. He was just giving
I
you the
realized early
straight
doors
line.
in universities, all you had to do was sit in and repeat what was projected back.
Are you
know,
denying that
projected
formula
at
for a
you.
straight line?
So, okay, when I come to flat Earth, all of this, my previous thinking comes to me, right? So when I ask basic questions like, is horizontal always horizontal? You have to say yes, except in a spherical Earth basis, right? Which is the thing we're
It's
trying
a
to fucking
local
prove in
thing.
the
It's like
Shout out to Godzilla for smashing the super chat. Good luck on your surgery. Thank you very much, and thank you for the shows. The shows continue on Monday. It just won't be me at the helm. So Brandon will be back Monday with more of these shows. So look forward to seeing you all then.
Pete, do you accept for a circle there are an infinite number of tangents, and it depends on what point on the circle?
Of course it does.
Right. So if you understand that, then even if you don't agree with the globe model, you must understand that we're saying we've got a sphere, and therefore any point. Hold on, Pete. Let me just finish. Nearly there. 5 seconds. Any point on that sphere will have a different horizontal or different tangent. Because we define horizontal, because we define vertical going to the center of the Earth, and the horizontal is perpendicular to that. That means for every horizontal is a tangent to the surface of the Earth, and there are an infinite number of them. Great, so you agree? Excellent.
I agree, absolutely. And this is what I said the last night. If the ball Earth have a side, let's hear the theory. Rumpus, when you go and do your tests, you'll have the ball Earth theory. I've been looking for the flat Earth fucking theory.
And I told
if you're
you.
looking over next, hang on, please. Let
Pete,
me finish.
The flat
If you're
Earth
looking
theory is
over
what
next,
we actually do now.
yes, but he's.
You know, in
what
reality,
I'm
when
saying
surveyors go out in reality, they're doing the flat Earth measurements. They're
Yes,
using
but I'm putting
Cartesian
Rumpus on the
coordinates.
spot. Paige, I'm putting Rumpus specifically on the spot because he's going out to do the test.
Sure.
Because he's passionate. Hang on, let me finish, man. Because he's passionately inclined. Now, when he gets the test results, you'll have the ball Earth theory, which is well fashioned, well formed over the years, decades, centuries, millennia, right? But what is the flat Earth theory? Rumpus will never tell you what you expect to see. Can I finish?
Do you not
Can I
remember?
finish? Rumpus will never tell you what you will expect to see over instead.
Right, looks like looks like the rumpus is about to explode right now. So, Guns of Navarone says for 20 Canadian dollars, Ranty, your channel is a nice break from the flat Earth debates. Yeah, I should hope so. That's what I tried it to do. I tried to set it up that way, and long may it continue. As I say, Brandon will be doing the helm on Monday, and it'll be his style. Let's hope he does it with my style too. So, thank you, Guns and Navarone, for the super chat. Much appreciated, mate.
Infinite number of horizontals on a sphere, and the drop in perspective over a flat Earth, flat plane consideration.
Pete, on a flat Earth, the horizontals are the same, but not on a
How
spherical
can they
Earth.
be with perspective, Rumpus?
I drew you a diagram. Oh my god!
How many flat lines are there on a basketball, Rumpus?
How can they be, though?
Let me
How can they be? It cannot be, Rumpus.
I was showing you. Here we go. This is the diagram I drew. Let me just show you.
You don't need a diagram. I don't need any diagram.
You do, because you've clearly forgotten the diagram that I showed you and drew for you the last time, and here it is again. And this is where I told you what we'd expect to see on a flat Earth. And this is a horizontal. Now, on a flat Earth, all the horizontals are indeed parallel. So any point on here. So this is my auto level here on this.
Yes,
flat
from which
Earth.
perspective though? From whose perspective?
Well, it doesn't. Wherever you decide to put this auto level on here, the horizontal will be the same. Wherever you go on this Earth, this flat Earth, the horizontal will be the same. So,
a 30-foot bus in front of you, as it drives away over a horizontal plane, that horizontal is always going to drop, or that angle is always going to drop.
No, not if you're the same level as Pete. If you're the same level, if
No,
the bus.
yes, he's right.
Hold on.
We have a local horizontal as well, like you do.
Okay, hold on, guys, 1 sec. Hold
geez.
it. Just calm yourselves down and think what you're going to say whilst I read this super chat out, because it is for It's for Paige to answer. So, Paige, is horizontal/vertical in Euclidean geometry? So let me say, Paige, is horizontal and vertical? Is horizontal and vertical in Euclidean geometry?
Sounds like a come online, some sort of
Are
saucy.
the words horizontal and vertical in Euclidean geometry? Yes, of course.
Right. Okay. There you go.
What kind of question was that?
Well, that was from
saucy encoded message.
Well, thank you for paying Ranty to ask that question.
Yeah, that was from WS.
I think you'll find.
I understand now.
Page Anything Friday, $5.
I think you'll find in Euclid there is no reference to horizontal, because that is a concept in a real world. Euclidean geometry is all about the shape and geometry, conceptual things. So horizontal is a real world concept. But anyway, getting back to this thing for Pete, on a flat Earth, all the horizontals will be, if you get your theodolite out and you decide to define a horizontal looking through your theodolite, they will all be parallel. And obviously, if you had your theodolites at the same height, then yes, and you asked about a bus. If your theodolite was at the same height as a particular part of the bus, so in other words, let's say the theodolite is at 1.5 meters high, as I've got it here. The part of the bus that's at 1.5 meters, which would be somewhere above the tire, say, or the radiator, then as that moved away from you, that point would remain stationary. The top of the bus would become lower, and the bottom of the, be quiet, the bottom of the bus would raise up. It would become smaller around that 1.5 meter point.
No, that's not what happens.
Yes, exactly.
Well, Paige, I have a perfect illustration for all of us here, right?
Go for it. Go for
Rumpets. We're all on a 100-meter track, right? 10 meters apart, pointing directly out from our hearts, right? And I'm trying to point at the heart of everyone in front of me. We're all of similar height. The further I point,
can't do this, Pete. He doesn't have a heart. We've got to find some other.
Rumpus, I have a
He's
challenge.
like the Tin Man. He's like the Tin Man from
Give me a second,
Pete.
Pete. Give me a second.
Montreal, let me just answer Pete's point.
Exactly.
Let me just answer Pete's point.
Rumpus. So the point being, the next person, the next 10-meter person ahead of you, you'll be pretty much pointing directly ahead. But as you move down towards the 100-meter mark, the guy at the end, you will have to drop lower. Now, here's my point. Ultimate point. Here's my ultimate point, please. Let me finish it. If we extend that track into the distance and we point at someone's heart at, let's say, 2 miles or something, we will definitely have to point a noticeable down than if we're pointing at the first guy at 10 meters. Would you agree or disagree?
Yes,
right, okay, listen, I have a better way of saying it. Right, so, Rumpus.
Yep.
Can you go back to that?
I will be there in just a second. I'm just trying to find a little graphic of a man so I can put a little man in there.
A man with a heart. I'm looking for a man with a heart.
Because Pete wants to talk about a man, I thought I'd get a picture of a man. That makes it
right, listen. Well, I don't want to talk about a man.
I'll put it back. I'll put it back in a second.
I'm looking forward to your better way of putting it. While he's looking for that rant, I think that's pretty visual.
So here we go. So we've got an object at a given distance. So we'll let him get his man. You know what he's like.
That man looks like he's shooting.
Let him get his little man out.
You know what he's like.
Oh, Pete.
Right, so here
how cute.
Right. Okay.
Can you flip him so he's looking the other way?
There we go.
Paige, don't be
That's
starting
so cute, Rumpus.
Give half of the audience a horn.
Looks like James Bond.
Right. Anyway. Right. Is that? Are you happy now?
I'll put his camera.
Are you happy now? Are you happy
put
now?
His camera. Yeah.
Right. Are you happy?
He's cloning them.
Yeah.
Rumpus is amazing.
I know.
Little rumpuses.
Right, listen. I want to ask my question. Okay. Then you can do whatever you're doing. Right.
Okay.
So you see the man on the left.
Yep.
Yep.
I'll call that man A.
Yes, that's man A. Right. So now you're going to be looking at, say, man B, the one next.
Where would you like man? Which man would you like to pick for man B?
The one next to him.
So the next one. Okay.
Yeah, he's man B. Right. So and then I want you to go to the very last man, and we're going to call him. We're going to call him man C. Right, so he's man C.
Or not man Z. You don't want me to call it man Z.
No, man C.
Man I, he is.
You want it man C, okay? Man
Yeah,
C.
so man C.
Oops, man C.
Right, okay. So we know that, you know, we're not obviously, we're talking about perspective now. So you're saying that obviously these levels will all stay the same levels. So when man C is much smaller in perspective, you know, his angular size is much smaller than man B, right? Yeah, man B right next to you has a bigger scale to you than man C.
Yeah.
Man C is
the
much
angular
smaller.
size will be greater than the angular size of man C. Yeah.
So what is it that lifts up? Is it the floor that? So what is it that happened? Just let me finish the question.
I thought you'd finished. I thought you keep
So the question is.
Carrying on.
So my question is, what happens to the man? Because he gets smaller. So does the ground raise up, or does the sky fall down?
Both of those things happen. Let me show you what you would see from man A's point of view. So let's imagine this is the camera.
So they don't always stay level then. If the sky is falling down, if the sky is falling down and the floor's raising up.
Okay, I'll put some sky in here for you as well. just for you.
This is why Rumpus's testing is not going to work, because he's not accounting for.
Here, right, so here is these. So I'm now going to put the sky as the person sees it. So in the center of their view, we'll take what the camera's going to see. So the center of the camera, there'll be a man here. Now, obviously he's not going to look like he's going to look. You know, we're going to see something like that, and we're in the middle. I'll put the middle of the. Thing here.
Did you starve yourself, Rumpus?
There. So that's what that's my middle of my camera there.
Yeah. Okay.
And I will see.
It's a supermodel.
And the sky, the ground will come up. I suppose I need some features. So the ground.
No, you don't need any features. Just.
Well, it makes a point, you see, because I can't show anything going up the ground that I've got here.
God, this is painful.
Throw a big set of balls at him, Rumpus.
Right.
Yeah. Well, you put some sky in, and you know, put some.
Well, that's because you asked me about the sky, you twat. So I'm putting it in to tell you what
Wait till he
happened.
does the ray tracing, right?
You stupid dickhead. So I'm going to put something up here as well. So to feature, we're going to think of that as a cloud, you moron. So here we'll have three different objects. Stupid little twat. Right.
Entertainment.
Little prat. Right. So there we've got three features. Yeah, you little prat. You don't understand perspective. We know. That.
We do. So
you don't have a clue. You don't have a clue. You're a moron, and I'm in the middle of explaining it to you.
Yeah, because you don't.
Be quiet. Let me explain.
Rumpus, why do you get so nasty and shouty?
Because he's just giggling because he's a twat. He doesn't understand
you've just said.
Right, so let me explain. So
Hold on.
Please, Rumpus,
So let me
a little bit
explain.
quieter,
So here we have a star.
Your mic
and
is
then we will have
so badly I can't
star.
understand you.
Well, be quiet. I don't have to shout. So then we'll have a little star behind that. This one will be in front.
What's going on, Ranty?
And then this final one will look like that. Let me just go there. Something like this. You're a dickhead. So that's what happens to the stars in this image. You see the blue one.
What happens to the humans?
Be quiet. I'm about to do that, you twat. So
I only asked him how he was doing.
This star will have become lower down, and this star over here will become lower down again and become smaller in the process. These people will shrink.
Yeah.
But they will shrink around the point of the camera, so they will do this.
The stars.
Hang on, hold on. Let him do it. Let him do what he's doing. They'll shrink around the camera.
Right.
Go ahead.
So it'll be the camera. So.
Go on, zoom in. Zoom in.
Yeah, zoom in.
Now I've drawn it to the side.
Go on, zoom in.
So what there is C. There is C here. You are more on page. I mean, Jesus Christ, how do you? I mean,
just move your mic. Just move it a little bit away so when you yell, it doesn't distort.
Be quiet. I know this is difficult for you.
Punching them out for that.
See, we know you're painted into a corner because you've just gotten nasty at everybody for no reason.
I know I'm irritated by the fact you interrupt me every 2 seconds.
Yeah, you're irritated. Why?
Right now, I've finished the diagram.
Now zoom in. Now zoom in so we can see it. I want the audience to see this image.
You can't see it.
I want you to zoom in. Keep going.
Right.
So, is his head lower Is B's head? Don't move B's head again, right? So is B's head? Is B's head? Is B's head? Is B's head lower in perspective than C's head?
No, C's is lower than B.
C's is lower. But
Thank,
the camera.
thank you very much.
Remember, I've
Excellent.
lined up the
Has to be, right?
Yeah.
I've lined up the camera.
So
if I
how
draw
are
the
they-
eyes, if I draw the eyes, remember I've drawn this the view of the camera.
Yeah.
I've drawn from the view of the camera.
Okay.
So the cameras will be in the same position.
Right, let me finish my point. We know your point, Rumpus. So now put Z in. So now I want you to get number Z. So Z is like number 500 down the line, right? So now put Z in. You don't have to put the Z in, for crying out loud. You don't have to do that.
You're an idiot, Ranty. I can't leave any room for you to get anything wrong because you're so stupid. I have to.
I think you need to do that for yourself, Rumpus, not for us.
So there's Z. So then, if I go to here,
Yeah.
Z will appear.
Z has to be like a pixel.
Yeah, it will be much smaller. So if I then copy this,
So now get one pixel.
well, not one pixel's going a bit far.
No, because he's going to be 17 miles away. Z's going to be 17 miles away. So I want him to be 1 pixel.
Ranty, I have a brilliant. After you're ready, I have a brilliant.
What am I meant to do with that number of pixels?
Gotcha for Rumpus.
Right.
Just drawing a pixel isn't going to be terribly helpful.
All right. Well, get him down to 4 pixels then, because obviously you've got too many pixels there. Get him down to 4 pixels.
No, I'm picking on this size.
Why don't you want to put him to 4 pixels, Rumpus?
Because I just draw. Well, you won't be able to see anything then.
Thank you very much. There we go. Proof.
Gee, thanks, Rumpus.
Finally, well done.
He doesn't even
You're
understand
welcome.
what he said.
He doesn't understand it, does he?
All I would turn into a tiny 1 pixel. Okay, if you want me to draw in 1 pixel, I'll put in 1
Because
pixel.
he's thinking
There
about
we
it
go.
from his paradigm.
So okay. So you've done 1 pixel, so that's 1 human. Now I want you to put a group of people there, please. So imagine that Z is a family of people. So there's a group of people. There's like 6 of them out together enjoying life in the Corona times, because you can only meet in groups of 6. So yes, they're side by side. So now I want you to put 6
Make sure you put their masks
Yeah.
I'll make them.
But hang on, Rumpus. Don't be disrespectful, Rumpus.
No, just Pete.
Slightly wider. There we go.
Right, there we go. So now you can't tell who's who. You don't know what smudge is who, what pixel's who. It's all just blended into one different thing, even though there's a group of 6 different people there, right?
So what?
Now you're understanding perspective.
I understand perspective perfectly.
Welcome to the real world.
I have done computing. I've done perspective transformations. You've never done a perspective transformation in your life. You're a moron. You haven't made a point.
You've literally just made my point for me. You've literally just made my point.
You don't have a point. You don't have a point. I don't know what the.
Well, hang on, Ranty. Funny enough, I have done. I have done
exact.
perspective transformations. I've done orthographic drawings, Rumpus.
Yeah.
Well, hang on, Rumpus. I've done orthographic drawings. I've done perspective transformations.
Okay, remember, this is not. This is a perspective.
Yes, but let me just ask this question then, Rumpus. As you're, hang on, please, Rumpus.
3 words. That what I've drawn here is the perspective view from A. Go ahead.
Right. So, and let's just take it to a real situation we can all relate to. As we're down at the beach, 6 feet, right, eye level above a calm ocean, right, setting. So everything is disappearing into the distance. As you point directly forwards, horizontal to the surface you're on, is your finger going to meet clouds in the distance?
Sorry, I didn't understand that. Oh, sorry.
So as you're at the beach, you're pointing over the ocean, the calm ocean. You're pointing directly at arm level, heart level, straightforward. Is eventually your finger going to meet clouds, going to point at clouds? Yes.
Listen.
Well, Pete, I showed you in this. I showed you how this star here, this one here.
Yeah.
But how can it meet clouds?
Hold on, Pete. Hold on, Pete.
Can I just finish my point? So we call that D, a star or cloud. We'll think of that up in the sky. It's lower than we'll call this one D, and we'll call this one F.
Yeah.
So D starts up. It's the same height. So this is the cloud up here. We're going to think of that as the cloud of 10,000 feet. I'll put it here. It's obviously be slightly higher up than the thing, and then as it goes in the distance, it will go down to the center point of your view here, and so it will get lower and lower and lower. Is that the point? Is that the question?
Right. Don't interrupt. Don't say anything. Okay. Don't say anything. Don't say anything. Right. Zoom back into the model that you've just drawn. So what we were going through before with the pixels B and C. Yeah. Zoom into that, please. Right. So, do you see where you've placed the group of 6 people? Can you show the audience where the group of 6 people is? Right? Okay, so anything underneath that is what? The ground, and everything above that is the sky, right?
Yeah.
So, did the ground raise to eye level?
Yes, on a flat Earth, yes. If you go far enough away, everything will become it will go
No.
Yeah.
Anytime.
In any model, it didn't matter. Globe.
Well, if it curves away, no, it won't.
Did the ground raise to eye level?
If you're in this situation here on a flat Earth, then yes, it would.
Can you go back, zoom back into
you drew
the...
that as Earth, as what we see normally. You drew that as reality.
But that doesn't happen. No,
go back in, zoom back in, and show
You
us.
just drew reality, Rumpus.
Did
this is not what happens in reality.
Did the people and the group of people, did they raise themselves to eye level?
Yeah, it is.
The image is eye level. It's the image of the camera. Yes, if it's the same point, I've drawn them centered around their own camera. So those people there, I've centered them on the camera. So I'm assuming all these people are exactly the same as here, and they have cameras, and I'm looking at, and I've aligned myself with their cameras. So although it's very small, they I've aligned with the camera. But obviously they've become so small, they all merge into that point. But this is exactly what we don't see. This is the reason we know we don't live on a flat Earth, because if you do see things going to the distance, they don't do this. You will find that things drop.
Those 6 little mini rumpuses got you, Rumpus.
You were drawing.
6 mini rumpuses.
That's why
you were drawing reality there, Rumpus.
If you have an auto level, or you look at an app on your phone that shows you horizontal, you will see that in the distance the horizon drops below the horizontal, and therefore we know we're not on a flat Earth. It's very simple.
Rumpus, you just drew reality. We weren't talking about on a flat plane when you started to draw that. We were just talking about what you see in reality. Why are you talking over me? I let you talk. I let you talk.
No, you made your statement. You said this
You've talked all over my point. I let you talk. Can you please stop?
I'm telling you, this doesn't
No,
happen in
I would like to make my point without you talking all over it.
Okay, go ahead.
When we started this discussion, we asked you to draw what we actually see. So then you did it orthographically. Oh, Rumpus, please. You hate it when people overtalk you.
You don't see this.
Rumpus, you were drawing what you see in reality. Yes, you were.
We on a flat thing here.
No, you weren't.
I'm telling you, I know
My goodness, you disingenuous asshole.
Look where that line to your diagram is pointing. To a ball. No, Rumpus? Come on now.
What's the question? I didn't hear.
Give it up.
Right, let's just make this absolutely clear. I was drawing what you would see if you're on a flat thing going to the distance, but we don't see this.
No, you were drawing what you thought you would see in reality.
I know what I drew. I drew the damn thing, you stupid bloody goddamn woman. Right, so this view here is not...
Thank you for not making it a worse insult than goddamn woman.
This view is
That's pretty bad, actually, isn't it,
This
Paige?
is what we do
It
not...
is, but
we
better
do
than
not
cunt
see
or...
this on the Earth, and therefore that's why we know it's not flat.
But we do see that
Paige
in
there,
reality,
Rumpus, for saying goddamn woman. Paige is very reasonable here.
Get yourself a smartphone, get on top of a cliff, or in an aeroplane, there's another classic way of doing it, get it to point horizontally and you'll see the horizon drops.
Here we're our mind right now.
Yeah,
Don't
Rumpus,
keep bringing us to other places.
That's a function of perspective and of things like sinking and compression and all the atmospheric effect. It is.
On a spherical Earth, let me draw these people on what we actually see.
You don't have as much curve as what you need, is what we're finding, Rumpus.
No, we do.
Like,
so here,
we find that the horizon does drop a little bit, but nowhere near what you need, what it needs to be.
It goes exactly the right amount. So,
what horizon? What horizon page does drop? The apparent horizon, the illusory horizon over water?
Here we go. So they draw their horizontal here.
Rumpus here says that horizon will have to rise to eye level.
I need to draw a tangent, of course, to the Earth here. So if I draw a tangent where that person is, I haven't got that quite right, have I? Let me just draw the tangent for where that person's standing. There we go. So there, this person, when you for the camera, the line coming out of the camera, they'll say, "Oh no, this person's dropped below my camera level. Oh no, it's no longer in the center of the frame."
But you just drew the same thing.
That's because on a curved Earth, yes, and this is we do not see. This is what we do not see. We do not see this.
We do not see the bottom one.
We do not see this.
Scale it, Rumpus. Scale it on a flat plane.
He's adding this in after.
We do not see
Changing the goalposts, are we?
Yes, we do.
Model.
We don't see this. You just drew it. We saw it. Everyone saw it. Everybody saw
This
it.
is what you would see in this situation, but that's not what we see. We do not see this.
We do. That is what we see in reality.
I just told you.
We do.
Yeah, I know you told us, but you're wrong.
You can go and look, Paige. Go and get an iPhone.
Yeah, I do.
Go on then.
I do.
Go and find your nearest bit of coast. You're not that far away. Take either.
Rumpus, we have a skydiving little thing near us up on the mountain that you can see for miles from it.
Go and find a body of water, say a good 10 miles long. Go to the edge of it. Probably get up nice and high as you can. Get your iPhone out. Get the horizontal app. I can't remember what it's called now. And you.
I just told you why that will happen, Rumpus.
No, you haven't, because I've just
Perspective and atmospheric effects.
included perspective.
Yes.
And that does not cause things to drop down. You don't understand perspective.
Andy, on your last slide, bring up your black hole
In the
image.
top one, Rumpus, you have put
Let's get to the bottom of this one.
Perspective
Be a
view.
good one.
I've drawn here is a perspective view. So
Yeah, and that's what we see.
No, we don't see this. Because
Yes, that's what we see.
Yes, we do.
Kind of like lampposts when we see them down the road. Kind of like that.
Rumpus, I think you're the one that needs to go out and look.
Go and test this over a body of water.
I have.
Right, listen, everybody, one sec. So,
Yes, I used to live
just
with my
1
back
second,
door
Paige.
facing a lake
One
that I
second.
could look over.
1 second, Paige. Everybody, 1 sec. From Globebusters, tell Rumpus I am going to highlight his revelation this Sunday on Globebusters.
Awesome. Yeah, make sure you get the sound bites that he did before.
Shout out Bob. Yeah.
Does not cause
Rumpus has given us
around
perfection
What
in that
revelation
top
is
one.
that? What revelation is that got from Goldbusters?
Things just get smaller around the in this particular case, in the center of frame here. They do not drop.
No, his head's lower than the first person's head.
No, it's not. The head here.
So those 6 people.
The point is remaining exactly the same.
Are you telling me that? No, zoom back in, Rumpus. I'm sorry, but this is ridiculous. Zoom back in. That first man, is his head a little bit higher than that second man's
I did
head?
it around the camera. I did it around the camera. If you wanted me to do it around someone's
Is
eye,
it or not?
It's the center of the. We're doing it from the camera point of view. We're not.
Oh
right
my
about-
God.
So the thing is scaling around the person's camera. In other words, the thing is at the same height, because I put the people's
In reality, but
like this.
looking at through perspective, they dropped.
We're looking at a view from the camera. This is a view from the camera. This is not a view from the person's eyes. This is a view from the camera.
But we see with our eyes.
Objects.
Right.
I did it to make it clear where the view was. I mean, I can do it for the lens. Well, actually, his eyes
Rumpus, we know that those men in reality are the same height, but looking at it through a camera, through a long distance, through perspective, their heads will be lower. The further away they
Has
get,
to, yeah.
the lower their head will be.
They won't. So you're denying this is the
Yes.
Right, no, you don't need to understand perspective. You
Okay.
do.
Well,
Right. Listen.
Rumpus,
Anyway, let's.
honestly.
Okay. So let's hold on. Let's move.
Wow.
Let's move this on a little bit. Right. Okay. So Rumpus, can you now place an inferior mirage in?
Right. So you want me
He's going, what's that?
to mirage?
No, on the one you've just drawn. You know the,
Oh, you mean,
the
what,
yeah.
in the perspective view.
The perspective view, yeah. So draw the, you know, in actual fact, how about we use, you see that pink line that you've put in?
Yeah.
If we was to say that was the region where the inferior mirage was happening, right? So,
Right.
yes. So, would things get lost in the inferior mirage?
They would. Yes, they would.
Okay.
Excellent.
Perfect. So and things would disappear from, you know, I mean, if that was the floor, obviously, if we go back to that image that you just drew, just go back to that image. Yeah, that one. Zoom in. So now if you had a boat that was disappearing further away, so it was going further away, it was sitting on the floor, obviously. And obviously it would get smaller and smaller, a bit like the group of 6 people. Eventually, that boat would just sink into the inferior mirage. It would just disappear inside of that, wouldn't it?
It would have to.
It would. Hang on, no, let's get that from Rumpus himself. It would.
But the thing is, we see visions of boats like this, where we see the bottom of it cropped and we see it above the
I would say,
and below. And then mirage will just chop off a little bit here, but we will see lots of it above, and we know, for instance, the height of the boat, and we will know that its bottom is.
Therefore, we
know that the Earth's curved because we know where the
Hold on. You only ever see boats disappearing from the bottom up with physical water obstruction from under about 30 meters of observational height. Anything above that, you always see it disappear into the inferior mirage.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do.
Depends how big it is. Take a mountain.
Doesn't matter how big it is. Doesn't matter how big the boat is.
It does.
It always disappears into the inferior mirage, Rumpus.
Well, ultimately, yes. Also, when it gets far enough away. But before that happens, this is what you didn't
Oh,
understand.
no, hold on. What do you mean? I thought it goes behind Earth curve, Rumpus.
Yeah, how did it come back from behind Earth curve to then disappear?
You always have to consider it when it gets down to a pixel, and therefore it's the same size as the inferior. But what you don't like to talk about.
But it already went behind the curve.
Interrupting again. What you don't like to talk about, and I told you your videos, this is why you're called the best globe Earth prover, because you've got all these images of boats where we know where the bottom is, because we can see the top, we know where the bottom is going to be, and it's underneath, behind the horizon.
Oh, is it? That's very wrong there, actually. I don't think I've ever filmed a boat behind physical water. Not in my location. No, in fact, I'm going to have a look now.
You're talking over him, Rumpus.
Yeah.
So, I videoed it. So, which video was that? Can you link me the video?
Okay, let me go and check. Unless I meant to do this the other day when you challenged me on this.
Yep, go ahead and link me the video, please.
Okay, give me 2 minutes to go and check.
Right. Can I just say in the meantime, Rumpus, when you come back, over an extended span, as you're considering it, would the Z-axis need to be scaled? As you and Paige will agree, the apparent horizon seems to dip, but in flat Earth theory, the horizon has to rise to eye level. So this mirrored layer, or whether it be through the air or through the water, if that's scaled properly, then a boat 30 feet high disappearing into a layer that could extend many miles would have to be taken into account.
Okay, so is this disappearing behind Earth curve? Is that boat behind Earth curve right now? The Rumpus. Sorry, I'm sharing my screen. It's literally the first image, the first video that's just on my desktop, and I saw a boat on it, and I thought, oh, I'll play that. Excellent, right? So
keep that shot. Right, do we have an image of this boat?
Forget about that, Rumpus. What do you see?
Hold on. Yes.
Do we have an image of this boat when we could see all of it?
Yes. Yes, we do. So first of all, let's look
at what it looks like.
So what I do is I go higher up. So that's me lower down.
Oh wow, it's blue.
That's me lower down.
Yeah.
That's me lower down. Hold on.
Still behind the horizon.
That's me. That's behind the horizon. Where's the horizon? Where's the physical obstruction?
Yeah, what's going on here, Rumpus?
Well, hold on. Okay, so I'll show you from higher up. So there's from higher up. It's the Stena line. It's the Stena line boat.
It's still behind the horizon. I want it to be. I want you to go higher. Or to be closer.
Where's it behind the horizon, Pete?
Well, I think I think it's just behind the horizon.
So hang on. So where's the? No, let me just clarify what you're saying. So where in this image is the horizon? If you could see it.
It's difficult. It's somewhere between the fold line and the.
Right. You see, so now you're going back to, and this is what I was saying to you, Pete Shea. Now he's going back to saying where the inferior mirage is where the horizon is. And Pete Shea, you said that he didn't say that. And you've got him here right now trying to tell you that the inferior mirage is...
Excellent. So,
yeah.
so you address me there. Give me 1 minute then. Hang on, Rumpus. Hang on, Rumpus. We have a perfect opportunity here to clarify in front of everybody your position, Ranty's position, my position. Now, Rumpus, Ranty, you're mistaken in this. We see that visible horizon. This is always the geometric horizon for Rumpus. It always has been. Any inferior miraging is not done by the water. Hang on, please. If I'm mistaken, then you can. If I'm mistaken, then you can clarify. If I'm mistaken, then you can clarify, Rumpus.
You've just
I can't hear you when you interrupt me, right?
Yeah, let him finish and then clarify afterwards, Rumpus.
I don't say
right.
Rumpus, stop
well,
interrupting.
Listen. Okay. Rumpus, my position was always that this visible horizon is not the real horizon, right? We need to find the mirror line and understand that the boat is on water and the horizon extends into the great distance. We just can't see it. The water is always doing the mirroring. You always deny that. Is that true or not?
Yeah, I deny. Yeah, water's got nothing to do with this.
No, thank you, Ranty. He's
Hold
always
on.
denied that.
Yeah, he's just turned around and said that the water's causing... He said the water's not causing anything of it. And when we went to here and we looked at this part of the video and I said, well, where's the boat? He said it's behind the horizon. I said, so where's the horizon?
Right, so let him expand on that. Let him clarify.
Yes.
Jesus Christ, I've not been able to get a bloody word.
Right, clarify, Rumpus.
Be quiet. Number one.
Isn't it funny he's the only one getting triggered?
Be quiet. I haven't been able to comment on this. Number one. Everything is raised up by standard refraction. So when you're talking about where you think the geometric horizon is, it's not. It's going to be lower down, somewhere below, quite a bit below where the visible water appears to be, because everything is raised up by standard refraction.
So let me clarify what you
just
said.
Is that 76R?
Just
clarify, Rumpus. Rumpus and Ranty only. I'm going to mute.
Pete, do I have to mute you? Right, listen. So let me just clarify. I want to clarify some of the words that you've just said. When you said everything is lifted up due to refraction, what do you mean by that? 76R. Everything. What do you mean by the word everything?
Everything you can see is higher up than it actually is if it didn't have a better.
Okay, cool. So the water's so the water's lifted up then.
Yes, you moron.
Cool.
I've been explaining this to you for about 3 years.
So let me just clarify. So the horizon is lifted up, and so let me just clarify.
Some of us are wearing headphones.
Let me just clarify. So the horizon is lifted up, and the boat is lifted up. So if they're both lifted up by a 76R, so they're both lifted up, there is no looming.
Well, that is, well, it depends what
There is no looming, Rumpus. If they're both loomed up at the same rate, there cannot be any looming.
There is. The distance between you further
It
away.
can't happen.
Yes, it can. Listen, moron.
If they're all loomed up by 76R...
Even with standard refraction, things in the distance are raised up more than the things...
No.
Yes,
No, they're all raised up by 76R. Everything is... No.
To be more raised up
No,
away.
it would have to be greater than 76R, Rumpus. It would have to be greater than to lift it above the 76R refraction of the horizon. Yes, it does.
Rumpus, stop!
You just said 30 seconds ago, Rumpus, they all lift up even.
You just said that.
You are a moron. You don't understand refraction. Then I have to be...
No one can hear anything though.
Yeah.
Come on.
So I'm muting him for a time being till he calms down. What Rumpus is saying here is that everything we see is loomed up and loomed up by a 76R standard refraction. That means that the water is lifted up by a 76R, and so is the boat, right? So both of these objects are lifted up by the same amount, right? Which is why you can never get, ever get looming. And this is what Rumpus doesn't understand. He will try to tell you that 76R on the boat is different to 76R on the water, because the further away something is, it has greater, it works out greater, even though it's still the same calculation. Utter bollocks. And he knows it, and that's why he's screaming. And that's why he's been caught out.
Whether it's a refracted horizon line or a geometric horizon line, hopefully we can catch it on a close enough sort of day. That horizon always has to be identified. And that's what Rumpus will go with. Everything beyond that has to be explained. And I'd love to hear, let him back in and ask him what's causing this mirroring. And of course, you have the advantage, let me just say, Ranty, of being able to skip through the video and we can see exactly what is going on through a process of still shots over.
The horizon on that boat was like a couple of millimeters above where the actual water was, wasn't it? You could see like
imagine the sun was setting in the background, Ranty, like you showed with the sort of the trick presentation to people the last time. The horizon would be a different place.
This all started with him saying that I film boats going over Earth curvature, right? And I said that doesn't happen. It goes into the inferior mirage where I live, where we have the flat topography of the land underneath the water. We don't have any of these deep crevasses and slopes that causes any kind of shoaling effect. So we don't get to see that, especially here. I don't film boats physically hidden by water. I always film boats that have an inferior mirage. End of story, and that is the truth. I don't film boats with physical water obstruction. In different places in the world, like Hawaii and Australia and things like that, you do see that, but you only ever see that from low down, anything under 30 meters. As soon as you go to about 35 meters and you film a boat, it never goes behind a physical barrier of water. It always ends up inside of an inferior mirage, and that's what happens. And he doesn't like that, and the Globers don't like to address that either, right? Show me a boat.
I bet you have really bad surfing there.
Go to an elevation. Go to an elevation of 40 meters, let's say. Film a boat, right, and tell me it goes behind a physical wall of water. You won't get that. It will disappear into an inferior mirage. Simple as that.
The only time something goes behind a physical hump of water is when you have those sharp drop-offs under the water, and you get that. Like if you put a brick in your bath and run the water over it, you'll see the water goes up in a little hump over the brick.
How about this?
Same sort of thing happens.
How about this for summation page? Waiting for Rumpus to come in and respond. Rumpus will look at that image, Ranty, and say, "Look, there is the visible horizon. Necessarily, on a flat Earth, the horizon would rise to eye level, and as we can clearly see, the water ends there, and everything above that is not water." Now, Ranty, you will clarify that if the sun was setting, happened to be setting just behind the Stena line, well, I've been on the Stena line many times, image in the background, you would understand that that horizon is only an illusory horizon, and it's water all the way to the new horizon that the sun has prepared. So when we take into account the distances, the extended span, the scaled z-axis, which is the most important, you have to scale the z-axis, you can't just gauge it like the x and y-axis, then we can understand that all of this mirroring is occurring on the water, but it's just beyond a certain distance, which Rumpus must deny because he relies on his visual. Perfect.
If Professor Phil's still there, what does he think about what Rumpus has just?
Can I just say one more thing, Paige, please? I was just going to say one more thing, and that is like over an extended, this is for flat earthers out there, over an extended span of water like this and mirrors, just think of it like a mirror layer, right? That's all into the extended distance. Like a shadow, it all depends on the angle of viewing. So that reflection underneath the mirroring line, between the mirroring line and the image Ranty showed the rumpus there, and the apparent horizon, that reflection might be many miles from your perspective. So that's what I wanted to add as well.
I think Rumpus has deafened himself. see that? It's 10 o'clock, so I thought I'd better wake up so you've got time to have a shower.
He's not on mute. I heard him.
Oh, sorry, have I got a hot mic? Sorry.
Hey, Ranty, I apologize for interrupting you. Did you get the YouTube thing straightened out? You were muted for about a few minutes. Yeah, there hasn't been any sound for a while.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's my bad. I am sorry, guys. I do really apologise for that. Let me just clarify what I was trying to say, guys. Is that in images like this with the wind turbines, we get sinking. We don't get looming. Wes Wally wants to address this idea of the actual turbines, these fixed structures being loomed up or hidden behind earth curve, and what we always see with these images is the blades being pulled downwards or extended. That's always what we get to see. Anything that happens in the lower regions, they get bent down. Now this is the black swan image taken by Dr. John D, and what you'll see here on this particular blade is it's straight, and then it bends down right at the tip there. It's bending downwards. Now that's because at this region here, this is where this effect is starting to take place, and roughly it's about 10 miles to this turbine here, and you would guesstimate that it's probably about 100 feet or so in height, so maybe there's some calculation that you can work in there, but the blade, the tip, is being bent down. Now if this was being loomed up, if this was a loomed up image, which the Globers will try to tell you that it's being loomed up, that's why we're seeing the horizon behind these turbines, they will tell you that it's being loomed. Now if this was being loomed, this turbine blade here that's straight and then bends down at the end would be bent up at the end, because the blade would be trying to lift itself up. It would be curving upwards, trying to go up if it was being loomed, but it's not. In actual fact, this proves that it's being sunk still, just not as great. Now, anytime you film these turbines, you always see this effect with the turbine blades. They always bend down. It is a fact. You can go out 999 times out of 100 and see this effect. It's just what happens. Let's go across to this one here. So I'll just explain this as well. This was what the measurements that I was doing, just messing around, just for my own benefit. I never showed this before. This blade here, on this particular turbine blade, measures 77 millimeters on the ruler, and this blade that bends down here and is actually stretched and pulled downwards actually measures 87 millimeters, right? So the actual blade itself hasn't grown. It hasn't made itself bigger for any reason. This is an optical effect and proof of sinking. The blade itself is being stretched out due to the sinking, the downward pull of the blade, of the atmospheric effects is pulling the blade down and stretching it out. This proves sinking, it doesn't prove looming. So anytime you want to talk about these wind turbines, yeah, you have to address why we're seeing sinking in all of them and never looming.
Well, wouldn't that mean that the turbine bases are being
sunk too?
Stretched out? No, stretched out also?
Sunk. Not stretched, sunk. The reason you see
just
it
said stretched.
Yes, they do. But you are seeing the effects of sinking. These blades, the reason this happens with the blades like so is they're turning around and they're going in and out of these effects, and you're able to measure it. You can measure it because you can see the different blades, and you always see this stretching going on. So you know.
So if it's stretching, then why is it being cut off?
It's being stretched. It's being sunk down. The whole image is being sunk.
I understand.
Right?
I'm asking if it's why aren't the base of
They are.
Why aren't the base of the turbines being stretched then?
They
too?
are being stretched and
so
pulled
then
down.
Why are they being cut off?
They are being stretched and pulled down. They sink. The light doesn't get to the observer. You don't see it. That's why these things are all being lowered down. Now, the rumpus will... Let me finish. Don't interrupt me. The rumpus will tell you that looming happens, right? Now, we've just been through looming and how it, if everything's being loomed up, then so's the horizon. So if the horizon's being loomed up at 76R, so's the boat in the distance, and so's the mountain. It's all being loomed up by the same amount, so you should never get looming, right? Because it's all being loomed up. But you can definitely get sinking if you apply the same mathematics with how things work with the temperature gradients, etc., on a plane. It's the same effect, and you get sinking. But you can't demonstrate looming.
Is stretching and sinking the same thing?
The effect you're seeing by the means that it's being stretched down, the effect of sinking. You'll see it, that's what it's showing you. It is showing you the effect of sinking.
So if we saw something being stretched up, could we then say, hey, look, it's
being loomed up? Yes.
It's looming?
Yes.
Okay, well, that's what's happening in the Black Swan. You see it being stretched up.
Where? Hang on, let me go back to the Black Swan image. Hang on. Let's go.
The crane on
crane.
the platform is being...
The crane. Hang on, wait. The crane. Up. I'm looking at this image here. This is the Black Swan, the most recent one. The horizon should be 2.4 miles away.
I'm sorry. I'm talking about the
the
QE one.
Well, it doesn't really matter. We can look at this one, seeing I've got this one open. This is a Black Swan image. This turbine blade, this turbine here is 10.5 miles away, I believe, and the horizon should be 2.4 miles away. So clearly, the horizon should be in front of these turbines, and it's quite obvious to anyone that the horizon is behind these turbines. So this is a Black Swan, and what we see here is the turbine blades, especially like with this tip here. Can you see how the turbine blade is being pulled downwards? And can you see how this is being stretched out? Can you see that? Can you see that massive stretch going on here? Now, what that's showing is, and I've looked through this quite a lot actually, and I feel that there's just regions of disrupted atmosphere here. For instance, just in this spot here, and a little bit over here. Not much, but mainly just in this little pocket here, right, where it's just slightly different atmosphere. Because the rest of it, they all seem pretty straight. Even these little bits down here that seem relatively straight. But this little region here, you've got a stretch on the blade and you've got a downward pull, right? But so even though this region is showing you the effects of a little bit of sinking, the rest of it is just showing no effects, no looming, no sinking. And that's why we see France over there. And obviously we've got this downward pull of this blade here, so much bigger than this one. Can you see the difference in this? You see how long that blade is compared to that? And this one is further away than this turbine, right? This turbine is nearer, so it should have a bigger blade than this one. but this one is further away and it has a longer blade. Now that's only happening due to the downward pull of the sinking effect. It's not looming, right? So why are we getting sinking and a horizon that's further away than it should be? It's not a trick question.
Yeah, pregnant pause. Off you go, bud.
Oh, sorry. I was looking up was checking out what type of turbines those were, because there are a lot of turbines that actually do have curved tips on them.
Yeah, unfortunately, this doesn't have a curved tip, I'm afraid. In fact, none of them have.
I'm just looking.
Yeah.
So, on the original Black Swan that.
Yeah, well, I'm not. I can bring that up at another time. But
yeah,
for
sure.
now, let's just follow this process. So let's just follow this process.
That one is curving up.
Which one's curving up?
From the platform that QE posted.
Oh, sorry, you keep going back to the platform. I'm sorry, but I'm talking about this image that's on screen. This Black Swan.
Sure.
You can see it.
So this Black Swan has the horizon behind the turbines, which you shouldn't have, but it also has.
Why not?
Because in your model, the horizon should be 2.4 miles away. And
Welcome to France.
Sorry, who's?
How do you know?
Because it's the measurement, the geometric measurement to the horizon.
Are you seeing something geometric here? Only geometric? No atmospheric effects?
Oh yeah, we are seeing a little bit of atmospheric effects. That's why I've got this little bit of sinking going on here, a little bit of sinking and stretching of the turbine blade, as you can see.
Okay.
But for the most part, the rest of the image is pretty unaltered. Everything looks pretty straight.
Okay.
But we see the horizon far, far, far beyond this 10.5 mile turbine here. So, so my question is, this is a Black Swan.
But we still see a horizon, correct?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. What's that got to do with anything?
Why is that?
Why do we see a horizon? Well, the horizon is the visual place where the sky meets the ground. You will always see that.
Where's the horizon you see?
So it's apparent, right?
Yes, it's apparent.
So you're looking for an actual measurement of something, of the geometric Earth, based on an apparent position?
We're looking at the relationship between the horizon and the turbines themselves. Your model would say that the horizon should be blocking off the bottoms of these turbines. We don't see that. In fact, we see the turbines incrementally get nearer to the horizon, further away, and then the horizon behind that. Now, that can't happen on the globe. Unless you've got looming. Now, my question is, if you do have looming, why are these turbine blades bending down and being stretched
because
downwards?
Of the little pocket of air that you just named.
Ah, yes. So if that's the case, and this is the little pocket of air that's the part of the sinking part, where do we see the looming part then?
On the ocean behind it, where it seems to be curving up and curving up.
No, actually, see these little little things here. You've got a little bit of a curve down, right? That's not going up. That's
I'm
going
talking
down.
about the.
Hold on.
Talking about the ocean.
Hold on, and a little bit here, which is also bending down. We're not getting any upward bends here, right? There's nothing being bent.
What about the ocean?
Upwards. What about the ocean? Yeah, it's not where it should be in your model, is it?
Says who?
It says your model.
Your model, bud.
What can
At 2
can you
feet,
quote it?
Ranty, can you put a red line across
Citation?
how much of those turbines would be invisible at those distances? That would help.
Do you have a calculator with refractive effects?
Yes, he does.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
So if the so hold on. So let's put the let's whack the refractive index up to infinite over 6R, right? So we've got an infinite over 6R refraction going on right now, which is why we're able to see this this horizon behind these turbines, right? Are you happy with that, right? So you're happy with that? This upward refraction?
No, I'm just asking. You claim that it's
no. I'm just saying you're happy. You're happy with this infinite over 6R refraction to give you this horizon behind the turbines, right? But yeah, the image betrays yourself. The image betrays you with these turbine
How's
blades
that?
bending down and being stretched, and all the other little straight things being bent down too. So that betrays the idea that things being loomed up.
I found the picture of your turbines. They do actually have
This
curved
betrays.
tips on them.
This betrays.
Let me post it for you here.
This betrays. No, they don't. They don't have bent tips at all. They're not bent tips.
I'm posting it for you right now. What
but they're not
which
bent.
chat you want?
I just want you to clarify that they're not bent tips. Maybe you should look again. Right. So my question is this: these being stretched down is not proof of looming, is it? It's proof of sinking, isn't it?
I just posted your.
Yeah. Okay.
turbines.
You can
It
just
shows-
keep.
it
You can
shows
just
them like-
keep. You can just keep ignoring me if you like.
Yeah. Answer
I
his
didn't
question.
ignore.
now,
I
and then he
posted
can
the
get
evidence
your
of my claim.
That
these-
is not. Are you retarded?
I put them in general chat for you.
You think that's a bent tip?
Do you see the third one there?
You think that's a bent tip?
Do you see the second one there?
The second one, what?
In the general chat, I just posted the picture of the second.
I've looked at the. I'm
turbine.
looking at the image.
The second one.
Hang on.
The second
let me
there has
open
a
it.
bent tip.
Hold on. Let me open the link. And I'll bring this over for everyone to see. So, hang on. Where's the share screen? I'm gonna have to change. Anyway, you're obfuscating the point here. We'll get to this. I'll quickly clarify this.
Go to the second one.
So hold on.
Second turbine.
Hold on. So this is the near turbine where we can definitely see the turbine blade, right?
Second turbine.
Hold on. We're looking. What are the different? What are they going to have different turbine blades the further
Second
away we go?
Turbine.
Let's have a look at this one that's nice and close.
I said look at the second turbine.
Let's have a look at this one first.
Look at the second turbine.
I will. Let's have a look at this though. The nice close near one where you can definitely see it all in its entirety. There is no curve on the blade, right?
Look at the second turbine.
The second turbine. Where?
The second turbine where your mouse is right now.
Yeah, where's the curve?
No,
where's the curve, mate?
Now look at the.
Where's
go
the
right up?
Where's the curve?
There's the nope. Go there you go.
Where's the curve?
You can see it right at the end of the.
Direct me. Direct the cursor. Direct
like
the
a bird's
cursor.
wing, isn't it?
Direct
Go
the cursor.
slightly right. There you go.
Yeah. It's like a seagull.
What?
It looks like a seagull.
You mean that little bit of downward refraction? That little bit of stretching
Wait,
down?
you're saying that there's refraction now over what 120 meters?
Oh, if you guessed that there's 100, do you know how far away these turbine blades are? These turbines are from each other? Because I do.
120 meters.
They're half a mile apart, mate. So where'd you get 120 meters? They're half a mile
about
apart.
800 meters, yeah.
Yeah. So where'd you get 120
Just
meters from?
making shit up.
Yeah, I know he is. So
There you go.
anyway,
There's the curved
nice,
turbine blade.
so anyway, let's look at the nice close one where we're looking at it directly at the nearest one. There isn't any curve on these at all. They're all straight. You can all see that there is no curved tips, right? Anything beyond that, which is obviously getting into any kind of little refraction with the downward, the sinking effect, the same thing that I've just been showing this dickhead on this image, right? So let's go back to this image. This same effect of the blade bending down, yeah, is proof of sinking, right? You run away.
I think it's a little more complicated myself while you're waiting for this guy to come back. And also, as I mentioned the very first night, if we look at the water, and we can see that the white aspect is consistent in reflections all the way along, If we scale the z-axis, which this guy is unwilling to do,
He just came into
bring in all
troll.
manner
He
of
just came
illusions,
into troll.
but then we can get a sort of a view
I'm
as
not
to
trolling.
what angle we're looking at in order to be able to see the wide aspect of the turbines being reflected.
In this image here, there isn't a single proof of looming. There is nothing being loomed up. Everything is still being loomed down. And we get a bit of stretching here in the most in the region where you've got the most sinking going on. But still, there's not enough sinking going on to stop the effect of seeing the horizon far beyond than you should do on a globe model. Simple, easy, debunking proof of any kind of looming for this effect, because you've got the sinking effect going on these turbine blades that totally crushes the idea that this is being loomed up.
So
While he was
those
there, I was
by sea power. I actually looked up the model number for these sea powers. They have what they call sweep tipped. They're called sweep tipped.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Turbine wing.
Yeah. What's that got? What's
I
that?
posted a second model of them that they are indeed curved at the end.
Well, what's that got to do with it? Are they the same turbines? Are they the same turbines?
Yeah, they're called sweep tip.
No. Are they the same?
Sea power sweep tip turbine ends.
Yeah, no. Are they the same turbines that was used in the sea? No, they weren't. No, they're not.
Sea power turbines.
No, they're not.
Sea power turbine have sweep tips on them.
All right, yeah. So you do realise that all these turbines have different things on every single one. Different hub heights, different blades. You do realise that, don't you?
Plus, you just showed him clearly one that is completely straight. The first
Yeah,
one.
of course
no?
I did. Of
Picture,
course
no?
I did. Yeah, he's just it. So anyway, he's trying to distract from the image.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Back to the image. Why is that so much bigger? Why is that blade so much bigger? That's nothing to do with any curved tips. Tell me, why is that bigger?
Because it's facing towards you, where the other one is facing away from you.
What?
If you angle something towards you and down,
do you see
it's going to seem bigger than something that is angled away from you and up.
Okay, fair enough. So what about this one that's pointing straight down? See this one?
Are you showing something on Discord, Ranty? Because I don't see anything.
I don't see which other one you're talking about.
Okay, let me share my screen. So you watch my screen again. So you see this turbine blade here that's pointing straight down, right? So if something's pointing straight down, you would expect that to be the longest point, right?
No.
Optically. Well, yes, you would, because it's pointing straight down.
If it's straight down and towards you, yes.
So that's straight down. This
Straight
one
down and towards you is going
this one has gone. This one has gone past straight down, and look at that one. That's almost the same as that. This one, what's that? What are you trying to say? That it's grown 30 feet?
No.
Right. Okay. We know it hasn't grown 30 feet.
I'm talking about the other one where you measured on your camera with 77 and 80 whatever.
What about it?
And 80 something. Because one of them was pointing up and away and one was pointing down and towards you.
Well, let's look at this one. Okay. Right?
Why is that? You didn't put your scale.
Why is this grown?
Because it's at a different place in its rotation.
Okay, so this one that's just past, this one's
almost going up.
So this one's just pointing down.
Going up.
It's pointing down, right?
It's going up.
This one's pointing down.
Yeah, but one is at
Stop interrupting me.
One is at the bottom of its rotation. One is going.
Yes, so that's at the bottom. This one's now starting to move around, and this one's a little bit further around too, right? So, so if we say that's just after 6 o'clock, that's between 6 and 7, and that's at 7 o'clock, right? So
I'm saying the opposite. The one that you're pointing out is at probably
they all point. At
8 o'clock, and the one that you're pointing towards is probably.
That's at 8 o'clock.
Which one?
This one is at 8 o'clock.
Sorry, I can't see your cursor.
What do you mean? Right,
let me
again? Circle it. Right, see that one there? So you're saying that's at 8 o'clock?
No, that one looks like it's probably at about 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock? What in the world?
The one that you're circling around right now?
This
Circle around
one
it
here,
again?
yeah, this one here, the one that's pointing to the number. You know, if it was at a clock, it'd be 7 o'clock.
It's
Yeah,
a
that one's probably
possibility,
about 4
Ranty.
o'clock.
It is a possibility.
No, it's not 4. What? It's not 4.
Around the other way.
Because it's going the other way.
They all go from right to left. Every single turbine in this field.
Okay.
They all go the same direction. They're not going different directions.
I thought that they were.
They're all doing the
they
same
were
sweep.
facing away from us.
No, they're not. You're looking down the line of these. You're looking down the
sorry.
line.
I was
right?
referencing 4 o'clock as if they were facing away from me and I was facing towards them.
No,
My
they're all down the
apologies.
line. This is at 7 o'clock optically. If I was to place a clock on it now, it would be 7 o'clock.
Yes, optically it's at 7 o'clock.
This one's just after 6.
Yeah.
Just after 6. And this long
Yes,
one.
but
hold
facing.
on. Just listen. And this one is between the two of them. Between 6. Between this one here.
Yeah.
And between 7. Between that one there. So between this one and this one. So these ones are the same height, right? But then.
No, they're not.
But then this one, well, it moves
They're
to
optically
here.
the same height,
Then,
but they're
then,
angled away towards
then this one that's in this region here suddenly grows 30 feet. Yeah? Is that what
Randy,
you're trying to say?
you're confused about the direction those turbines are pointing.
Oh my god.
Show your original picture.
Right.
Well,
no.
Let me just say that,
No.
Ranty, while you're showing your picture,
Show your
it
original
seems
picture.
as the turbine reaches
He's
its
gone.
lowest swing.
He's gone. I've had enough of that shit. It's my last day here, and I'm not going to put up with fucking idiots. I'm seriously not doing it. That we're looking down the line, and they're all pointing the same direction. They're all doing the same sweep, and they're all going in the same direction. And this turbine blade is just fractionally after this one and before this one, and he's trying to say, I don't know what he's trying to say, but it's very clear that you can see this sinking effect happening here, which is what's causing the stretch and the downward force of the tip, you know, and that's what's happening. And we're just talking to complete idiots that have come in to obfuscate this presentation. Not having it. Not tonight.
And it's
Kiss my
pivotal
ass.
that this distortion happens most at the lowermost swing at 6 o'clock. So you're entering a thicker band of distortion, whatever is the intervening medium. But yeah, you're wasting your time with it from the outset, of course you are.
Yeah. Came
I
into.
was going to ask you, while the two of you were talking there, I was just going to ask a quick question. Randy, have you considered the alternative, which is a spinning ball, and have you ruled it out based on sound, logic, and thinking? And of course, you would have said yes, and said your only conclusions over flat Earth. If you asked him the same thing about flat Earth thinking, of course, he can't admit that. He'll never admit that. None of them can. All they have to do is cling to their ball and come up with all manner of magic to explain away, well, the obvious, right?
Yeah, well, just very frustrated with people that come in and are dishonest. You know, I mean, that was just pure dishonesty.
Yeah, no, you did the right thing, Ranty.
You know.
Oh, you kicked him? I didn't know you kicked him, but I mean, yeah. What are you going to do?
Yeah, kicked him.
You get no concessions. They can't concede a point at all.
Mm-hmm.
They're not allowed. They're not allowed to concede.
Right. Because they can't. He can't talk about.
But
the
especially
intervening
not to a
atmosphere.
flat earther.
Yeah.
Even if we're right, like it's like when we talk about things about the moon, even though it doesn't prove anything about the shape of the ground, they won't concede anything about the moon being different from what they were told because they just can't agree with a flat earther ever for any reason.
Share my screen for a second. I just want to show you guys how I like. People
Yeah,
don't
sure.
think.
Share your screen.
So I got this in my shop, and this just sits here all day, every day. Not that. Put the camera. This sits in my shop all day, every day. Just to get people to think.
And we're not getting anything come through yet.
See that?
Yeah, we're not seeing it yet.
I'm sharing.
Yeah, hang on. Yeah, I'll have to rejoin the thing one sec.
I was
okay,
having the same
try
problem. Could
again.
it be because Rumpus is still live?
Possibly. Let me kick him. Now let's bring that over.
I gotta get back to work, but I wanted to show everybody this. This helps open some eyes.
What's going on here?
I can just screenshot it.
Right, yeah, you've still got these blue dots going around.
Well, I'm gonna just screenshot it.
Yeah, take a screenshot of it and then I'll just put the image up. Right. Let's get
I just leave this up in my shop all the time. One of my coworkers, he likes to think that 2 of them might be, but that's only because it's a flat Earth thing.
Do you know, they make you weary, don't they? I mean, that Glober came in there, right? And he frustrated me so much that I feel like, ugh. You know what I mean?
He was clearly a troll, Ranty. His own picture showed a straight tip, and he says all turbines, they come with curved tips.
That's the feeling I get every time I hear Rumpus or George. Like, oh.
Yeah.
So,
because you know you're not going to get any truth from them. You know you're never going to get a concession. You just feel like you're talking to a brick wall.
So what's the? So what we're looking at here? What are you trying to show us?
We got 1, 2, 3 intersecting lines. 1 is curved, 2 are straight.
Yeah.
Only 1 is horizontal.
Professor Phil there?
Yeah, okay. Yep.
So, yeah.
I've only got a few minutes left, but yeah.
Yeah,
okay, so
I'll share the
I
screen.
presented. Yes, please. If you
No,
share
yeah,
that screen and
yeah, I'm sharing the screen. So, do you want to have a look? Do you want to address
just
Rob
want
Key?
you. Yeah, I'm not making any judgment about it. I just want you to have a look at it and tell me if you can analyze it in the same way that you've just analyzed everything else. Like, for instance,
Hang on, are we looking at the same thing?
Why the blades are in the water?
Yeah, hang on, are we looking at the... Hold on, what? No, I'm sharing Rob Keane's image that he's just put up.
Oh, okay, I don't know anything about this image.
No, he's talking about horizontal... No, he's talking about horizontal lines, and I was wondering, he says only one of these lines is horizontal. Could you tell us which one of these lines is horizontal? There's 3 lines on screen.
Well, obviously, the one that's horizontal is the one that's going left to right. That's not curved. That's what you mean by horizontal.
Oh right, okay, yeah. So this one here in the, I don't know if you can see me moving my cursor across it, where it says that line there is the horizontal one.
The one that would be a tangent if it was touching the curve is the horizontal one.
Why would you say that though, Phil?
Hold on, just let Rob do it.
If I had a tool that showed me what level was, it would match up. Like, I got a T-square and I got a bubble level, and the T-square will show me that the bubble level makes a horizontal. The level makes a horizontal. Therefore, they are the same thing. The level is the tool to make the horizontal.
Actually, I have a problem with that as well.
I would like to hear that problem.
Professor Phil, do you think you could answer that?
Yeah.
Professor
Bill first, yeah.
Professor, do you think you could answer that?
Sorry, I've got a lesson in about 20 minutes time, and and I've got a lot to prepare. So I'm going to listen. I'll keep listening in, but I can't participate.
trying to repair a
Okay,
bumper.
all right, no worries.
I'm sorry about that.
No
but yeah,
worries.
It's 20 minutes is all I've got. Okay, thanks. But I'll keep listening.
Well, I think
Jesus.
we all know what happened there. Right, go ahead, Pete.
All right, listen, all I was going to say, first of all, the image you posted there, Rob, there was two horizontal lines. You know, the lines you indicated for the right angle, well, one of those was horizontal. Well, but what the problem I have is, right, so if we put ourselves on a flat plane and I point horizontally, I know that if I'm pointing at a specific target, that's, let's say, the same height as me at a certain distance, that horizontal line is always going to drop south of absolute horizontal because I'm not pointing at the absolute horizon, which is where the land really meets the sky, or where the water really meets the sky. So do you know what I mean? Is my objection clear enough?
Yeah, but how do you determine an absolute horizontal? How would you
Right.
determine?
Yeah, it's a good question, man. And I tell you something for nothing. When we listen, honest to God, don't get me started, because when it comes to what Earth actually is, up is down. Everything the ballers have been saying is true in a specific sense. I think we are actually upside down. We need to get through the North Center, where everything is right side up. So yeah, everything depends on where we are in relation to the external and all the forces that are in play, keeping us separated from the external. So yeah, in that sense, it's a sort of a deeper area, really. But yeah, but you understand what I mean in relation to just the ball Earth reasoning and the flat Earth reasoning. I was just clarify what I said to Rumpus earlier on when he points out at the beach as he's just standing there over calm water, and his finger meets the clouds as he extends the horizontal. Of course, his explanation is that they're all above the drop that is associated with the ball Earth, right, which is dipping away according to certain theoretical geometry. So that's basically my objection in a nutshell.
Would you also say, Pete, that the ballers can only work from one moment in time or one place in time? So the argument they'd have with Keen's drawing there as well, that right angle is not pointing down directly to the center of that curve that he drew, right? Because they have to only work from that one point. And so, okay, so you move it over, right? He moves it over, draws it up, and then to keep that horizontal, he'd have to keep tipping that right angle over their curve and keep that right angle pointed down to the center, where we can do the exact same drawing as Keen, right? And like you just said, point straight out, and we get as far as we can. It's fucking horizontal, and we can walk a mile and do the same thing. We're still pointing at the same distance, right? But they would be pointing at a different distance because they'd be going over a curve, but they'd still call it horizontal at that moment, at that point.
How could one look at that picture that Rob showed before and hesitate and not instantly answer and say, when have time to say, well, I have to go now because I have a class? And how does that work? How could you not instantly have the answer?
Got lots of people thinking, man. Trust me, because I put this shit on my Facebook too. People are waking up. I'm telling you that much.
Kudos to you, Rob, man. That was beautiful.
That was a work of art, Rob.
Maybe Phil's gonna go show his class that drawing and see what they think.
That was a Picasso by Rob.
In 50 years' time, that'll be worth 50 billion gazillion Ethereum.
You have Dodo approval, Rob.
I thought it was a trick question because there actually is two horizontal lines, right, Rob?
Good catch, Pete. Good catch.
But it is all relative. And let me tell you this, right? Listen, honest to God, here we are debating a sort of theory, right? So they have their side to offer, and it's all based around mathematics. It's all based around idealism, in a sense. In a reality, that's going deeper. I remember on Ranty's last time, I actually hold that the Earth is a sphere, as close to a fucking sphere as you can get, I think. Right, because underneath it's intact, above it's divided. So the way it's after dividing, it's like an eyeball, the way I picture it, right? And I think everything they say, it's within a certain context. Is the Earth moving? We'll say as flat earthers, no, but hang on, something is moving. And if we separate ourselves, Earth, from the sky, I think that's our sort of downfall, right? Because everything is part of the same thing. So I think they use that language cleverly. And they for certain know, right? They have to know. When I say, let me just say to Ranty, when I say the truth is known, what I mean by that is that fucking hell, come on, the military, they all know the flat earth truth. As we're debating their minions sent in, their muppets, their puppets sent in, they're continuing on with their plans. Like,
how's the likes to dislikes, guys? Have we got plenty of likes? Is the likes surpassing the dislikes? That's what I'd like to see. So if anyone hasn't actually thumbed up the video, would they kindly do that? It makes a difference, it really does. And of course, if you don't like it, of course, leave a dislike. But I suppose it's vanity that wants to see more likes than dislikes. It's just the way it is. So if you haven't done that, kindly think of doing so. Cheers.
your one up, right? Because you're dealing in the imagination. Hang on. I'm going to one up your one up because you're dealing in the imagination. I'm sure I get you, but in the letters he chose to present the puzzle, we got plenty of horizontals.
There's 6 because he wrote it. Yeah, he wrote it. So there's a minimum of 6. Yeah.
And listen, what is a line? What is a point? These are all fundamental concepts and idealized concepts in mathematics. If maths claims to describe reality, or math is reality, well, all math axioms start off with let A be a point. So they define a point, but a point is of 0 dimensionality. It's an instance, right? And you cannot show such a thing in reality. So therefore, one is ultimately disconnected from the other, but it's the same way as mind being disconnected from flesh or material, right? There still is that relationship. I think that's the point.
Yeah, and us joking around adding those other horizontals, if we were to physically add them, it would still hold true. But for them to add their horizontal by moving over a curve, I'm not going to say it's not true, but how can you? That's pure imagination.
Hey,
pure
Hey guys,
I know Rob Killen's drawing skills, and I bet you my bottom dollar there isn't one fucking horizontal in that representation.
Right, 15 more.
Actually
hold
0.
on.
We're all wrong.
15 more minutes, guys, and then I'm going to wrap it up. So
that's one up with us all, eh?
Yeah, there we go.
Then I can turn my brain off for a while.
Yeah.
Did you hear that? 15 minutes, guys.
What's that?
15 minutes.
Yeah, I'm going to wrap up in about 15 minutes. So
like right about the time we should, because that's ending on a great note.
Somebody find Ranty and chain him to his computer.
No, I need my brain rest, mate. I do. 5 years.
Yeah, absolutely.
5 years without a break needs to. And we've got Brandon Toy. He's going to do a good job. He'll be starting next week. So.
Yeah, there's a lot of us here that have followed you through the journey, and man, just the awakening that you've helped. I'll speak for myself. Just no bullshit, right? No arguments, Ranty. You've been calm, cool, collected. I think one time maybe you went a little bit of a psycho Travis or whatever off, but that's it, right? And so just want to say, man, it's been great, and we'll be here whenever you decide to come back. I'll be here.
Cool. Rob Keane, he says, this is for Brandon, Canadian $5. So, Brandon, I owe you $5, mate.
Already starting, Brandon.
He's already started. I did say as well, so this is for everybody else's awareness, that when Brandon starts next week, any of the super chats that we get in, I will arrange it with him. We'll figure it out between us, but he's going to get the super chat money. So that's cool. I'm not going to take any of that. That's all going to go to Brandon. So if you want to support the show and support Brandon at the same time, you got 2 different means, I suppose. Channel members I'll keep the channel members. That's fair enough, isn't it? Channel members and alike, and he gets all the super chats.
That sounds good.
Just Ranty, just be careful not to be sued again.
So now, listen, I'm a straight down the line, honest person. You know, if I say something, I stick to it, and it's only through principle that I'm, you know, doing what I'm, you know, why I'm going to be in court. You know, it's only principle that's doing that because I know what happened.
I know, Ranty. I
pretty
have a present for you.
Pretty sure Brandon's not going to sue you, but yeah.
And if I say something, I'm going to do it. So, you know, Brandon gets the super chat money. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. You know, and that's my choice to do that because he's working for that money. You know, he's working, he's putting a show on, he's putting the effort in, he's doing the shows. He gets the
keeping
money.
the channel. Yeah, keeping the channel alive.
Yeah. He's getting them. I'm happy for that. It's not, you know, I mean, it's not my earnings, it's his earnings. So works for me, works for him, and he keeps the channel going. Bob from Globebusters says, you know, whenever he has his times off, that whenever he comes back, you know, he's only got like 700 people watching, but then after about 2 or 3 months, he ends up getting about 1,400, 1,500 people watching. But it's that time off that people drift away from the channel. You know, they forget about the channel. And I don't want that to happen here. So I want, so he's going to keep the seat warm.
Ranty,
that's
I know
honorable.
it's not your special thing, but I have something to give.
I see. Yeah, I see what you're showing. Yeah, that's interesting.
Can you present, please? This is my present for you. And for Flat Earth community, because I heard last Saturday on Globebusters, they never seen the magnet bending the light. So I watched some videos because I remembered I got it somewhere. And I made a screenshot. I hope it's real. It's the permanent magnet, like $3,500 one. I think it's the most expensive you can buy, like a person, like private person.
Has it sunk those letters?
Excuse me?
Is it dragging the letters downwards? Is it sinking them?
The point is here, you see?
Yeah, is it sinking? Is it causing sinking?
Yeah.
An
It's
optical
pulling image down. You can see really nice here.
That's interesting, isn't it?
That is interesting, Josie. Of course, we can see mirroring on the surface of the magnet.
Yeah, this is mirroring.
What's going on at the extremities is interesting, right?
This is
it's where the mirroring ends, Josie, funnily enough. And
yeah.
The actuality begins. There's a transitioning zone.
Well, I didn't have time for make a video about it, so I decided to give this present to Ranty and to Flat Earth community.
Well, that is a very good present, I have to say. Anybody should take a. Let me just keep that image up. Let me put. Where are we? Input screen. Let's transition that across. So, if anybody wants to take a screenshot of that, now's the time, guys. You know, take a screenshot of that. It's awesome.
So, Josie, where do permanent magnets come from?
Well, I'm not working in that industry, so.
Let's take a wild guess. Let's take a wild guess.
I think the men made it.
But the material came, yeah.
It's interesting that Bob is all about ether in a new flat Earth. For why is this not a hot topic in a new enclosed flat Earth sense, right? But yeah, it all comes down to what is the nature of our reality here, and what exactly is being distorted. When you talk about light, Josie, of course we're told in the traditional sense what light is, even though we're not told. given a sort of a divide, right? The wave particle duality. It's where quantum eraser comes in. But when it comes to what magnets do to space, time, well, light, whatever. Well, this is a different matter for a deeper discussion. Randy's only 10 minutes left at this stage.
I do, and I've got a super chat shout out as well from Brandon Toy. He used a fucking solar filter.
He sent that super chat to himself for next week.
Yeah, that was the one time he lost his shit. That was funny as shit.
Oh yeah, it sounded German as well, didn't it? Globebusters is very happy with that image. He says, "Very nice, Josie, Mr. Lowe. Thanks for doing that." So yeah, so I hope you guys have got a screenshot of that because I thought it was pretty epic, I have to say.
It comes back to how we actually see, I'm telling you, and it comes back to the fucking basics all along. Everything connects. Let me go out with my final, what do you call it, summation, Randy, on your final show. Oh well, you're gonna. Oh, that's fucking very interesting. Now that's something you could talk
Pete,
about next
is that 80? Are those 80s hologramming kind of? You know, we see the ruler or the measurement tool, but we see is that what is that, right? Don't they look hologramish?
You have to rename this magnetic bending if this is is too cool.
Oh fuck! Here we go.
Gleam's gonna love this.
Hey Josie, did you go back and did you zoom in and out of this image just to eliminate refraction, like image distraction, or is this just a one snap you took?
I took one snap. It's a video.
Gleam's gonna be all over this.
Oh, this is cool, man.
Yeah.
It needs explaining. Remember the environment we're looking through, and I say it's water everywhere. We talk about nitrogen. It's a very well. If I say nitrogen to anyone here, outside of the big percentage it's supposed to take up in regards to air, what do you associate nitrogen most with? Just a general question. Do you want me to give the answer? It's fertilizer, right? Soil, etc. So the connection with all of
I
this.
couldn't even come off mute to answer, but yes.
It looks like there's more distortion during along the extremities, like where the 75 is. It looks dead on, and as you move outwards on both sides, it looks like there's more distortion.
And there is
well, no, it's still not dead on. If you look at the line next to just above the 75, you can see that's been dragged down.
Even that one, yeah.
And the reason that it seems slightly odd is because the magnet itself is a circle. It's a circular magnet.
That's what I was thinking exactly.
Yeah.
You know those two arcs, the magnetic arcs. If you put the magnetic chips on them.
Mm-hmm.
That's like a mirrored water layer. That's a magnet water. That's a magnet mirror layer.
I already beat you to it, Pete. Nice try.
Right, let's
imagine it was over an extended span. Imagine it was a massive magnet and you were trying to discern a target, a tiny
I would like
fraction
to see
of
the
its greater
video,
span.
zoom in and zoom out, and just to eliminate any, because I could already hear what they're going to be saying, you know? I'd like to see the video of this.
Well, he has it there. Post it, Josie, if you don't mind.
I don't have it here.
One thing I see is if you look on the sides. Okay, so we're not looking over the surface of the magnet. You look on the sides there. You see that little white drop edge of the ruler in the background. See, I know we're going to get picked on because, it's a circular magnet and that's causing the arc and a certain drop edge. But when you look to the side, right, it's still doing the same thing.
Yes, it's all around.
Yeah.
Yeah, but look at the 85 and the 86. There's no distortion there.
No, because the field.
Yeah, that's too far away. So you could apply that logic to vertical. So if you went directly above the 75 and you went to say, I don't know, 3 inches above the 75, it would be too far away from the magnet to cause any effect. So
that's my whole point.
And that's what would happen at sunset. So as as the sun sets prospectively, it's going to get dragged into the same effect. The sinking effect. This is sinking, but it's obviously sinking caused by
It's regional by the
magnetic, by magnetism. So it would be the same effect with the sunset. So that's why you get these funny effects at sunset.
Well, here's an excellent example as well of the contour of the reflecting surface, right? And also the extent of it. If we look at the 75 centimeter mark, you can see that it's pretty much dead on. Whereas if you go to the, with its reflection, whereas if you go to the 80 centimeter mark, you can see that it's at variance by a few millimeters, and it extends as you go along. So that's what I keep constantly saying. All of these things need sort of decoding, not just particularly. This is fascinating in its own way.
Josie, do you have the name of the video or the channel that did it?
No. I just took this shot, and I'm not on the computer now. That one.
Right, okay. Would you be able to find it in the next couple of days?
Yeah,
or so?
yeah.
Right, okay. So if you do that, do you want to put it in, on my Discord server? So it says show videos only. You see that that one there. If you want to post it in that, and then you can leave it in there, and people can come and find that.
Okay, I will try to find it now.
Okay.
And
not now,
notice
but
this, Pete.
just whenever.
Pete, that ruler. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, Ranty.
No, I was just going to say, whenever you get around to doing it, you don't have to rush. Just over the next couple of days if you can.
Pete, that ruler there is not what we'd call level. Totally to the 75 mark, to the center mark, but you can see the 80.
Yeah, but that's why he's done it.
Yeah.
No, he's done it. He's done it that way to show you the effects.
Still doing the same thing.
Yeah, he's tilted it to show you the effects.
Ah, okay, I get it.
Yeah, because he's obviously doing a vertical scale by tilting it. He's giving you a vertical scale. Yeah.
Ranty, I thought you were leaving.
I am. Right, I'm going to round up, guys. Right, let's start going through the. Ali B, are you there, mate? To do your final thoughts. No. Okay, right. Aaron, final thoughts, my friend.
Me or Aaron Armstrong?
You.
Okay, Ranty, it's been a great run, man. Been with you since show 70 something on Nathan's, and followed along, and been through the thick and thin. Not directly like you have, but just followed the story, and it's been a great ride, and I hope that you take care of yourself, and you find, make your mind at peace, doing work, do everything you gotta do. We'll hold the show down for you, and it's been a pleasure.
Thank you very much. Pete, final thoughts, my friend.
Okay, well, considering this is, I guess, the end of the era, in a sense, I'll sum up my own thoughts, because I've known you a long time. I know you're still going to be around.
Well, it's not the end of the end, Pete. I'm not going to.
I know that.
I will be back, but just not very soon. It will be next year. So.
Well, that's cool, and best wishes to you, and of course to all. But my summations in terms of the journey here, right? It's all about contrast. We came from a material-only background, right? When we believed and put our faith in science and man. Aristarchus of Samos was the instigator, the originator of that heliocentric center away from the Earth, ultimately leading to a Big Bang existence, right? So everything coming from nothing. When we come back to flat Earth and new reckoning, we see all the different clues presented to us, and we look all around us to find out that, well, the answers always lay within us, because we are now greater than the material. What the heliocentrists or the materialists deny is the zero, right? All they have is the one, is the countable, forgetting about the immaterial. When you combine the 0 and the 1, you get the circle and the diameter. And that's why 42 is the answer. You can only get there, right, once you come away from heliocentrism, is the answer, because it's...
Pete, you're not leaving,
hang on, please.
Right?
Let me finish, please. My question is, that's why 42 is the answer, because when you reintroduce the 0 and understand that that's the circumference of the circle, and the diameter is the 1, right? So the 1 and the 0, the relationship is pi, which is 3.14, which is
multiplication in mathematics, which is 42. So you can only get there once we come back to an immaterial source to us. And when we do that, then I think we can come to realize the unimaginable, which is our true nature, our true power, and well, that involves love for all. Okay, so thanks a lot for listening, and best of luck to you, Ranty, and to everybody.
Okay, cheers, Pete. Yossi, final thoughts.
Well, thank you, and I hope to see you back soon. Ha ha ha! Already miss you.
Thank you, Josie. Pete, the GRB, final thoughts.
Yeah, I fell asleep halfway through this thing. I had like a short nap there, but yeah, it was fun listening to you guys again. And at some point, I'd like to I'd have to make some images and that I'd like to show about like some health related things that I've researched myself, and yeah, I'd want to present that. See, listen to your guys' opinions about it.
Sounds good. We've got Brandon Toy who'll be doing these shows as of next week on this channel. So just same Discord setup, everything just as it is now, just a different host. So I'm sure that you can join the panel. He'll present what you've got.
Yep. Never done any presentations before, so I don't know what it's gonna be like, but
it's fine. You'll figure it out. It's not that.
Yeah.
It's not as difficult as you might think.
Yeah, you're talking to an open crowd, man. Come on.
Right. Professor Phil, final thoughts if you're around still. Okay, right. Rob Keane, final thoughts.
Yes, I am.
Okay, Professor Phil, do you want to do your final thoughts there?
All right. So all I want to say is thank you for everything, and have a really good Christmas. And hopefully you can keep yourself safe, and we'll see you back next time. And also, those of you who are interested, I posted a windmill photo in the Discord, in your channel, in the general area. Have a quick look at it and see if you can make any sense of it. But anyway, thanks for everything. Have a nice Christmas, okay? See you after that.
Cheers. Thanks very much. Right, Rob Keane, final thoughts? Right, SE Montreal, final thoughts?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Ranty, for the opportunity. Just take care of yourself, bro. Your health is number one now. And I'm sure, I know for sure I'm going to be around, and everybody else will be here waiting for you. And I'm glad this is not goodbye. And I'm sure Brandon Toy is going to do a great job. So we'll be here when you come back, bro.
No worries. Paige, you've popped back. Final thoughts?
Yeah, sorry, my phone just disconnected. Yeah, same as everyone else. Have a great Christmas, and I will be thinking of you through your surgery and stuff. I hope everything goes well for you. I love you heaps. So I'll be waiting with bated breath for you to come back.
Well, thank you very much for that, Paige. Much appreciated. Right, I don't think I've missed anybody that's not around still. So, yeah, that'll do for tonight, guys. Right, yeah, I'm going to have a break, guys. I'm going to have a break for a while. I'm going to recharge the batteries. I'm going to get myself back healthy. And, not just physically, but mentally too, physically and mentally. It does take it out of you, this, doing what we do here. A lot of research goes into this, a lot of planning goes into this. It's a full-time thing doing, answering emails, running Discord servers, Facebook, all that kind of stuff. I mean, honestly, it's a full-time job, but I'm actually going to enjoy the break from it. Like, I'm going to miss you guys for sure. I'm going to miss doing these streams. I'm going to miss the interaction with people, etc. But quite honestly, I am just ready for it. After 5 years, I'm just ready for this break. And we all need it at times, And you know, there's plenty of other streams to go to. There's plenty of other things to watch. You know, this won't be the end of this stream for you know. So if you're still subscribed, which I'm sure you will be, tune in on Monday, same time. I assume at least it'll be the same time for Brandon Toy hosting this show. So he'll be doing the same thing. Totally new direction, I should imagine, with his own way of running the streams, and probably the same guests at least, you know, maybe some more. You know, he might appeal better to you. You might like him better than you like me, which it's quite possible, you know. And you know, this is what it's all about, guys. You know, let's keep the show going. Let's keep the chat, you know, rolling. Let's find out what we can find out whilst we've got the opportunity to do that. And if I take some time off and we don't do the shows, we're going to lose all that momentum, you know. I mean, this way we've got the momentum running. We've got somebody who's coming in who's going to do a very, very, very good job. All the guys that are in the panel right now, and the lady, you know, everyone's going to pop back, and everyone's going to be knocking it out of the park next week for you as well, and the week after, and the week after. So it's all good. It's all good, and it gives me a time to recharge my batteries as well. So thank you for the support, guys. That's all I can say. Thank you. I hope you're going to thumbs up the video. That would be really cool. If you want to become a channel member, great. Become a channel member, because guess what? I keep that money. That's money that will come to me whilst I'm off sick. So even though I won't be around, at least I'll still pick up the membership money, which will definitely help out. Trust me, it really will. So yeah, if you want to do that, that's great. In the meantime, guys, that'll do for now. And I'll host one of these next year, so this will be me signing out on this stream now, and yeah, take care, and I'll keep doing my videos. I'll still keep doing videos, and I'll still pop on the panel now and then, but for now, this is me signing out, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care.